Hey, I think we're live. Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I am Steve Shaw. What is it? Friday, May 7th, 2021. We appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm joined with Robert Shinetsky, as always, the supplement engineer, and we will be on as long as you guys have questions. So please post up your questions on diet, training, supplementation, nutrition, off topic, you name it, and we will stay on as long as we can. We answer every question. If you're new to the channel, I just want to encourage you to not be shy. Post up your questions, and don't think a question is a dumb question. I'm making sure that we are public on Facebook, and we're good to go. So last week, Robert, we introduced the best question gets a free T-shirt, and Robert gets to pick. But I'd also like you guys to vote if you think something was a great question and worthy of winning a free T-shirt. Drop that in the comments as well. So let us know how you guys are doing, how everything is going, and we'll get rolling. How are you doing, Robert?
I'm doing just peachy, Steve. A little sore in places I didn't know existed on my body. My neighbor and I, the shared fence that we have between us has started to come down. And instead of repairing the whole thing right now, because lumber prices are so astronomically expensive, like a bunch of things are due to supply chain issues, we've decided to repair it ourselves. So we were installing some of the fence posts. Yesterday we did 3 of those, and then today, after we hop off of this live call, we're going to go install the pickets and the 2x4s for some of the additional bracing. So it's going to be a fun day for me over here in the 85-degree weather of southern Texas.
Yeah, well, we're back at 37 the other day, yesterday morning, and I think 41 this morning. So we're on the struggle bus a little bit as far as temperatures. But you know what? I'd rather have it a little bit cool than overly warm to do running, lifting, physical labor, etc. YouTube's a little bit slow notifying everybody today, but we're getting up to speed. So before we dive in, just want to thank everybody for their support of Massive Creatine Plus. I think we're down to like 70 units, and Robert's got his, and I forgot where mine is. I'm going to take it upstairs.
So sexy. I sleep with this at night.
If you guys use creatine, we appreciate you guys checking out our product. It's not just another creatine product. You can check it out over at my website, Above My Head. We got some news as far as the pre-workout, and we won't bore everyone to death with the sales pitch, but we're a couple things. We're looking at 2 flavors out of the gate. We're looking at an adjustable stimulant variable. Basically, you can go no stim, you can go a little stim, you can go a lot of stim.
Yep.
And this is something that is kind of a new concept to the industry, because in the industry, it tends to be buy our non-stim product or our stim product. So, Robert, I've got some, thank you, YouTube. It just notified me that we're live. We got flavor names. Okay, and we'll let this out, and we even got images for the flavor.
Do we want to say the flavor names now?
Yes, that's what we do, because we only got 20 people on right now. Okay. So Robert is a Louisiana LSU guy, right?
I thought you were about to say Louisville. I was about to exit the studio on this mother.
There we go. An LSU Tigers fan, and I'm.
What do you think? We got. Yeah. There we go. All three going on.
For the Badgers, the flavor is going to be called Feral Badger. And for you, Robert, what's your flavor?
Tiger's Blood.
That's all you get. We got 2 flavors, Tiger's Blood and Feral Badger. We're not going to tell you what's in them yet, because I don't think we have that figured out. We just came up with names. But I put in a note to the manufacturer this week, and we asked them to get rolling with it. So we're going to start with pre-sales soon. So let's dive in, guys.
Steve, we have a very special announcement too. We've been doing this officially for a year now. I just scrolled back through the Massive Iron channel, and our first live was on May 1st, 2020. So we've officially been doing this for a year now.
That's a lot of talking. Yeah. And people have been asking me to put this into a podcast, like download the audio, and I can do that. I just got to find the time. That's really what it's about. So let's dive in. Gravity training. Difference between hyperplasia training and hypertrophy training. I think the gentleman sent me this on Instagram, and it's a really good question. Hyperplasia training and hypertrophy training. Is there one? Does one have benefits over the other? Robert, do you know much about hyperplasia?
Yeah, I guess just for the listeners, we can we'll explain the differences between the two. So hypertrophy training is an increase in the actual size, the cross-sectional area of the muscle fibers. Hyperplasia is an addition, like you're adding more muscle cells to your actual muscle tissue. So when we talk about most hypertrophy training, you already have all the muscle fibers there. We're just increasing the actual size of those muscle fibers. So hyperplasia would be an addition, like more cells are getting added. You're actually adding in more layers to those muscle fibers. From what I understand, there hasn't been much in the human area of hyperplasia study. It's mostly been done in like rats and things like that. And what happens, I think, a lot of the times with this is they will basically they'll do some calf training on a rat, but they'll cut off one of its muscles. So they'll cut off like the gastroc or the soleus, and then just have it train that other side, and that's what will lead to an increase in the amount of cells in that single calf muscle as compared to the two calf muscles. So basically, the body starts compensating. As far as human research on hyperplasia training, there's basically next to nothing on it, at least that I'm aware of, and I really don't think that's something that 99% of people even need to be concerned with.
No, I mean, we're talking about adding new muscle cells. There's no way to do it with gym work, right?
Right. It's a biological process.
It's a biological process, so it's a non-topic for everybody, really. If you got to do what you can do, and unless you're Harry Potter or some mad scientist that can figure out how to grow new muscle cells without human growth hormone, it's a topic that is a non-topic. So
yeah, if you want to go look up Scott Stevenson, he's a PhD. I've had him on the Supplement Engineer podcast a couple of times. We didn't discuss hyperplasia on that, but there's several podcasts that he's spoken on about hyperplasia. So if you want to, go down the wormhole with that, go listen to a bunch of his podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing I waste a second of time, and I say waste, and I'm not being disrespectful to the topic, but I stick with things that are more practical and pragmatic that help folks. And, things like blood flow restriction and like the average individual can't even figure out how to add 10 pounds of mass. And the stuff outside of that, the fringe stuff, I don't concern myself with because that's really not, anything that's in my world. Correct. So Stein, how's it going? Stein from Norway. We got Dungeons and Dumbbells. How's it going? Good morning. We got Gray Rhino. Hello from New Brunswick, Canada. How are you doing? Canada is a mess right now, and no offense to Canadians. What I mean is some of my Canadian clients have gym access, and some of them are still locked down, and it's so frustrating for the folks that are locked down. It's frustrating to watch. Bree, how's it going? Bree is a client from Mongolia. And what do we got here? Nate, EU LSU. I agree, Nate. I agree 100%. LSU.
Right there.
I mean, the Big Ten's got some crappy teams, but.
Like Ohio State. Yep.
No, that's not what I was referencing. Minnesota. Come on, used to live in Minnesota. The powerhouse that once every 20 years, accidentally wins 7 games. And gets
I like Michigan. We lived in Ann Arbor, and Sandy was the head of the tutoring program over there for a while with all the college athletes. So, I mean, I have a deep love for Michigan, and I always watched them growing up. So
Michigan's a funny sports state because you have the football team and the basketball team, which are absolutely, top notch. And then you have like the Detroit Tigers and the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Maybe this is my theory. Maybe if you didn't give them a generic sports name like the Lions and Tigers.
Whoa.
Oh my.
Watch! Don't go insulting Tigers there, Steve.
Well, yeah, but like Detroit, there are a lot of Tigers and a lot of Lions in Detroit. At least the Detroit Pistons have an apropos name. It's
Agreed.
Pistons, and they actually win games. There's got to be something to that. That's my science.
Yep.
Michael Estrada. Hey, how's it going, Michael? Sitting at the airport waiting for my flight. Perfect timing. Well, hopefully you don't have to tolerate us, through the whole. You don't have to wait. But if it's American Airlines, there's a chance you might have to. And we got this live over at Facebook, and I just got to say this real quick. And no likes, no comments, and it's not the people on Facebook's fault. Facebook just really does an awful job of really giving a crap about content. I mean, over on YouTube, we can keep 70, 80 viewers at a time, and that's a lot of people sitting on the YouTube site. But apparently, Facebook doesn't really want that. So,
yeah.
All right. Frank, my 500-pound life. Frank has gym access. Thanks, Frank. Hope your day is going well. Appreciate you tuning in. And we got Ruck Carlos from Poland. What's going on?
There we go.
I've had clients from all over the world, but not yet from Poland. So if you want to sign up, that you could be the first. Gary Rhino, wondering which training style you think works best. Whenever we start with training style and best, it's going to stop me to pause, and we'll explain why in a little bit. Doing full body workouts or back and bicep day one. Does it come down to personal preference? Yes. What does the science say? The science says that when volume is equated over the course of a week, and this is not one study, this is a meta-analysis, that it really doesn't matter. There's some indication that it might be better for you to train with a body part split. In addition, and Robert and I talked about this earlier this week, if you're lifting 3 times a week, it's going to be harder to get in the quality amount of hard sets you need during a week. It's easier with 4 days. So full body, not so much for most of you guys. A-B split, my clients usually get an A-B split or a body part split. I very, very rarely give a client a full body workout. Anything to add to that, Robert?
No, a great majority consistency versus then personal preference with training structure. That's going to dictate results. And daily full body workouts, I mean, that gets into if you're going to have a lot of wear and tear unless you are structuring it in such a careful way that you're not overloading the same structures in the same planes, because eventually you're going to have too much systemic fatigue over the course of a week to actually have a productive workout. And then you're getting into like junk volume territory and you're just pissing them in the wind. Yeah,
the daily, that's what you're chasing there is volume. If you're training hard, you can't do that. You simply can't. You might be able to for a couple of weeks in a row before your body breaks down. I'm gonna share with you guys what I had posted on Instagram while I was sitting on the throne today. If you want to know, that's where I do my best work. And I posted.
Oh, you don't send me any pictures from there. We're good.
Not yet, but we're just delving deep into our relationship. Muscle building is 90% mental strength, 90% willing to train hard and chase progression even when you feel like garbage, 90% training consistency, and 90% diet consistency. Training consistency, what Robert mentioned. Fuck your program. That's a video I made a while back. Programs don't matter as much as consistency and hard work.
Agreed.
Giannis greets from Belgium. How's it going in Belgium?
We're getting some new people on the feed today. I'm seeing a bunch of names we haven't seen before.
Yeah, really happy to see that. We broke some records back to back. We had 2 weeks in a row where we were about at 3 hours, and then last week was a little bit slow. I thought people were kind of like getting ready for summer or something. Z Brox, since Robert won't take his shirt off, is it because he is launching an OnlyFans soon?
Yep.
Robert, if I had to do it all over again and I was 18, I'd probably launch an OnlyFans for the 5 people that care, flex my pecs.
Yeah.
But not so much now.
No.
I often get people to say, why don't you take your shirt off? Well, why don't you take your shirt off? I'm a former fat guy power lifter that lost 100 pounds. I got a little loose skin around my man titties. And, I don't exactly look like a bronze or a Greek statue. So, what do we got here? Pork meat. What's going on, pork meat? Thanks for joining in. Stuart Davies. I believe this is a new name.
Mm-hmm.
Hi from England. Tell us your typical eating day. Robert, go.
Breakfast is usually a couple of protein bars with some nice French press of coffee while I'm working, just because it's easier for me to do that than actually sit make something. Lunch is a chicken sandwich. I'll roast a bunch of chicken breasts over the week, and I'll slice them super thin. I went over this last week, so I'll take 2 pieces of wheat bread, spicy Dijon mustard over it, slice up an ounce of cheese super thin, lay that down, then put really thin sliced chicken breast on there, stick that in the air fryer for 15 minutes. It turns the top of the chicken into like super little crispy chicken chips. Side of that, I have 12 ounces of steamed vegetables. That's lunch. Dinner is usually rice topped with either 3 fried eggs, hard-boiled eggs, some kind of ground meat or something like that, along with another 12 to 16 ounces of cooked vegetables. Usually it's zucchini, carrots, yellow squash, cauliflower rice. What else do I put in there? Tomatoes and bell peppers and mushrooms. And then my final meal of the night is a Progrert bowl. So 8 ounces of Greek yogurt, 1 scoop of protein powder, 1 serving of dark chocolate chips, 2 servings, so 280 grams of frozen mixed berries, and a serving of rolled oats on top of that. And if I need a few extra calories at the end of the day, it might be another protein bar in there, and there might be a couple ounces of bourbon in there on some days too.
Okay. I kick off the day with protes. Or what I'll do is I'll take 6 eggs, put them in a nonstick. It takes like 3 minutes to make. I'll dump in a couple of diced veggies. I don't take a lot of time with this. Mushrooms, baby bok choy. Put a piece of cheese on top just for some bonus calcium. And I got 550 or whatever calories. So when I'm cutting like I am now, hardcore cutting, I really reduce grains and oatmeal a little bit. So that's my breakfast. During the day, I have 2 of these lately to get my protein up. I'm trying vanilla now, and I don't like it as much as chocolate, but it's easier than protein shakes for me. So I'll do 2 of those to get mine up. On Fridays, though, when today is a Friday, I had 2 of these for breakfast. Sometimes I get wacky, and have a protein bar. And these are one of my favorite tasting bars of all time. And I eat pretty light after that. After my eggs and my couple of D's, I'll have maybe 200-300 calories of lean meat of something, or maybe not lean meat. It doesn't really matter. So I usually have about 1,100-1,200 calories before dinner. Dinner is, while I'm cutting, dinner is usually a lot of grapes or 2 oranges and some lean meat, because at the end of the day, I want to eat as much food volume as I can. And usually I just stick with fruits and lean meats when I'm cutting. When I'm not cutting, I do a lot of black and white rice. I do a lot of steelhead trout, sometimes eggs, sometimes like the turkey breast. You can buy like that looks like the pork loin. You can eat a lot of that. We do pork loin, pork chops. I don't eat a lot of beef for dinner just because it's so high calorie, but tons of veggies for dinner as well. So that's about it. Nothing crazy.
Should mention supplements each day.
Yes. Massive Creatine Plus. We only have 70 left. Come get some. Thank you.
I have a rotating arsenal of pre-workouts and nootropics.
Asha Hopkins. Hey, from Dallas.
There we go. 3 hours north of me.
Yeah, 3 hours north. We can give you his address if you'd like to go pick up some Massive Creatine Plus.
There we go.
Or help with the fence or whatever the hell you're doing.
Yeah, or you can drive an hour north to Plano and go say hi to my grandma for me.
There was a wrestler from Plano, Texas. I forget what it was. Somebody who knows which wrestler was from Plano, Texas. Hold on. Which pro wrestler, Plano, Texas? There's probably some old 70 guys. I don't know. Whatever. I can't find anything. All right. So Luke S. Hi from Washington State. How's it going, Luke? Greg from Fargo. Starting to remember after a year. Started this Monday at the gym. Masks will no longer be required, but are strongly encouraged. Strongly encouraged. We got to back out of this like it's the most dangerous. Like the steps we back out are just.
Oh, the funny thing is, like, everybody's walking around now. Are you getting the vaccine? Are you getting the vaccine? Are you getting? Thinking, do you walk around asking somebody if they got the flu shot every year? Did they get their like measles and mumps vaccines and all of this other stuff?
So I got to tell you, like, I really don't care if you get a vaccine or don't get a vaccine. It's not like I'm anti this, that, or the other thing. Okay. But I really don't care what you do. And just like you don't care what I do. Right.
Right.
So
did you wash your hands after going to the bathroom today? I'm going to go walk up and start asking everybody that, because you look at the stats on that. Most people don't wash their hands after going to the bathroom, and that's fucking disgusting.
Men don't. I'm sorry to tell you, but you go into a men's bathroom and people walk out, like during a baseball game, 5 guys will walk out of the trough after taking a dump and they won't wash their hands, and then they'll go eat nachos or shake your hand. Hi, Bob. Good to meet you. Like, I don't think so. Yeah. So anyway, what was I was going to say something here. Oh, this week, Robert, I called a solar panel company to see what it would cost to put solar panels above here as a source of electricity. And they're asking me a bunch of questions. And then on the phone, the guy goes, have you been in contact with anybody with COVID? And I said, have you been in contact with anybody with herpes? And I go, what? Why do you think you can ask me medical, questions? Have you been in contact? He goes, I'm required to ask, and I said, I'm not required to answer. I'm just asking about solar panels. I don't need to stick a rubber glove on and stick your finger up my ass or anything. But then I'm like, so I'm sorry, guys, I'm not doing business with you. This is about solar panels, not about COVID. And you just turned it about COVID.
Yep.
And so then the CEO texts me of the company. And I'm not even kidding. And I said, look, I just don't want to do business with anybody that's asking me medical questions. I'm asking about solar panels. And he goes, we didn't ask about solar or medical questions. I said, not only are you asking me medical questions, but now you're calling me an idiot because I don't understand the question. Oh my God.
Good grief.
Like, can we just talk about solar panels?
Yeah.
Really. All right. Wade. Hello from Virginia. Just finished Lig Day and tuned in. Thanks for tuning in. I was in the military at Fort Lee. I got out in 1994 and began selling cars in Richmond, Virginia at Crown, Acura, Mazda, BMW on Broad Street. And I lived right off Broad Street. So there's a little piece of information for you guys. Sad thing is at least 50% are still using them.
You're guaranteed to be at least 50% smarter than half the population at this point.
Down like here, man, in the grocery stores, everybody's wearing a mask. Like literally everybody. And like nobody's even talking about it. I feel like we're just going to go on forever. There's no rate of decay. And I'm not pro or anti. I'm not even getting into that stuff. I'm not making a statement on masks. What I'm saying is there's no rate of decay, which is very interesting. Nigel Helmer in Ontario, Canada here. Yeah, my clients from Ontario really love the gyms being shut down. And he says the rules are absolutely moronic. Not just gyms that are closed, boat launches are closed. God forbid you get within the 5 feet of another boat or maybe a dolphin. Apparently, I'll still catch COVID sitting on my boat fishing. Well, that's like the rules in Mongolia. I got a client in Mongolia.
It's about control.
They make them walk to the grocery store in the winter. Number one, that's brilliant for your immune system for the average individual. And they can't drive because somehow walking to the store reduces exposure compared to driving to the store. And, Zebrock said, Facebook won't let me open and watch it. I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Facebook is so strange. Can't see the live video. I have no idea why. I'm just going to stop running it on Facebook. John Allen, hey guys, how's it going? John Drain, what the heck? Been asking questions for weeks now, never got one through. John, you're not alone, really, because every week when Robert's live video comes on, I try to post a question, and I try it from 7 different accounts because I've been on the internet so long. I got 7 different Google accounts. I had to get one different one at Tiger Fitness. I had one back in the day for this, that, and the other thing. I created one just for YouTube. 3 different browsers, 7 different YouTube accounts, and I can't get a fucking question. I did one day, Robert, did I not?
One time, yeah. Out of all the weeks we've been doing, Sandy and I have been doing those, I don't know, like 8 or 9 months now, something like that. We started, I think, consistently in July doing them.
I feel like I'm up against the best hockey goalie there ever was, and one time I got a shot through.
Yep.
Yeah, that's YouTube. Art, Mexico says, Buenos dias. Hey, Art, how's it going? Let's see. Hey, man, I took 2-month hiatus from the gym, and I'm getting back into it. Lost 50% of my strength. Any general advice? I'm not being a smartass here, but this is the most common issue I see. And I'm not saying everybody's the same. Some people miss time away from medical issues and had a baby, and I get that. But inconsistency is the biggest issue. I've been in this game a long time. When I was on forums, I'd see people come and go. Like, Bob would be here for like 6 months, and then he'd be gone for 3 months, and he'd be like, I took time away from the gym. Number one, don't take time away from the gym. If you're really serious about getting results, you got to hammer it for 5 years or longer. Any general advice? I have a video. Let me see if I can find it. Returning to the gym. When the gym started opening, how to train when you return to the gym. So go to the main page of YouTube's, and let's see. Go to the main page of YouTube and search Returning to the Gym on my channel. If you go to the main page of my channel and search Returning to the Gym, and you get how to train when you return to the gym, training after an extended workout. So you got 2 videos that will really help. Actually, more how I work out after a layoff or illness. So if any of you guys got real specific questions, don't forget you can go to the main page of YouTube, search that, and get a lot more information than we can give you here. But the main thing is the first week to 2 weeks, easy. Okay, easy. Lightweight, 2 sets per exercise, moderate frequency, because number one, you don't want to destroy your immune system with just killing yourself, and you don't want to get injured blasting yourself with a lot of volume or weight intensity. The first week, take it super easy. Second, and I usually recommend 2 workouts the first week. Second week, 3 workouts. Bump the weight up a hair. Third week in, 3 workouts. Bump the weight up another hair, and then from there you just slowly progress like normal. So, anything to add to that, Robert?
No, you touched on all the important points. That's pretty much it. Slow and steady, and a lot of your strength loss is just going to be motor muscle memory, like getting back in the groove of efficient movement patterns and things like that. So it's going to come back a lot quicker than you think.
Yeah, just don't force it, because your tendons and connective tissue and everything is temporarily weakened, and you don't want to try to get back under the weight you were under. So give it a month and slowly creep up. ZCP-24, the newest robot in the latest Star Wars movie. That's awful humor, I thought. Thoughts on Troy Addison? No idea who he is, and his balloon method of training. No idea, really. I've never heard of the name. And I'm not being facetious here, guys, but like, if you're interested in a good workout, head over to my website above my head. I got tons of programs. I just got a message yesterday about the Massive Iron book. I thought they were surprised it had 20 program options. The Muscle and Brawn book has tons of options. Over on my website, tons of options. So it's not that I don't want to look at Troy's program. I don't know him. so I can take a quick look. But I just want to encourage you guys to, if you're looking at a program, please consider mine. I put a lot of work into them. And I even do variations of popular programs, how I would do this, that, or the other thing.
And if you can tell me what supplement line he has, I mean, that I have no idea who this guy is. So I might know the supplement line, but I have no idea who the hell this guy is.
His website says best free content. I mean, that's just turned my stomach. Anybody that's telling you they have the best content, can, ride on a rail out of town. But he's got physique programs. Yeah. I mean, they're reasonably priced, $77, but I'm not going to pay one to look at it. If you guys want me to look at a program, I'd be happy to look at a program. The only thing I'll say is, don't think you're going to look like him by using his method. If somebody wants to email me the balloon method of training or post it in the comments, I'd be happy to take a look. And his supplement line, have you found it at all, Robert? I just keep getting this annoying pop-up where I can't get to his website.
I didn't look at it.
When I go to his website, all I get is programs and articles. So I don't see his supplement line. I'm going to say knee-jerk. Not even seeing it, that, if he has a supplement line, there's probably a good chance that it's not even close to the best on the market. So I'd be really cautious about taking it or supporting it. I'm training at home since February 2020 using only bands. Progress is difficult. Will I run out of resistance? Ruck, I'm going to be honest with you, bands here are probably one of the worst ways to train for resistance. Body weight, supersets, even putting books in a backpack and curling them are going to give you much more benefits than doing band training. So yeah. I would encourage you, get a TRX unit. They're super cheap. They open doors. Body weight stuff, do dips in between chairs, pause, jump squats, Bulgarian split squats. Dive into the body weight stuff, supersets. I made a video about this yesterday, doing progress with limited equipment. Bands are like, if you're alone on a desert island and that's the only thing you have, then use it. But if not, I would use the bands to turn into a weapon and lift logs. You know what I'm saying? Any thoughts on this, Robert?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not used to doing bodyweight training, there's a wealth of information on there. Red Delta Project's a really good one source for that. If you're looking for somebody to actually do like program design, go sign up for coaching on Steve's site and ask for him or me to do it. And that's kind of where my wheelhouse is, doing home-based workouts, bodyweight stuff. That's the stuff I love doing, and crafting stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, bands can be used as a finisher, and they can be used in, not all band exercises are useless, and I'm not saying that, but I would rather see you get a backpack or a duffel bag and load it up with rocks and do single arm presses or single arm rows. You'd get more out of it, and you could apply some of the stuff I talked about yesterday.
Yeah.
Daniel D. Is this the real Danny D? Oh, Robert smiled. He knows who Danny D is.
No, I have no idea.
Robert doesn't know who Danny D is. Anybody that educates Robert who Danny D is.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Danny D on your computer. Don't do it. He's like this guy that weighs 120 pounds and half of his body weight is one piece of one of his appendages. That's it.
Okay.
I think I described him pretty accurately.
I think I figured out where we're going with this now, Steve.
Yes. Gary Rhino, thanks for answering. I'm 48 and trying to get in the best shape. You bet, Gary. And if any of you guys need coaching, head over to my website, superlivingtoday.com. Everything I do, I'm with my clients every single day. I do complete hands-on coaching. Everything is unique to you. The workouts, the form advice, no cookie cutter nonsense. So, Stein, ready to hit the gym next week after 1 week of easier training. Find it harder to have a deload than pushing myself in the gym. I don't like deloads. I can take sometimes it's good to take 2-3 days off from the gym, but planning a deload is like telling your wife, let's plan to have sex next Saturday. Like, you might not be in the mood. Something might come up. I I don't know. I take it when it comes, right? So, Robert, do you plan time away from the gym?
I'm glad. I thought you were about to ask me. I thought that question was going somewhere else. No, I don't plan it, but I'm like Stein. Milwaukee Brewers. There you go. Perfect. Jesus.
Let me distract Robert.
Um, I used to plan my stuff. I now it's just like if something is too jacked up for me to get in a decent workout, or I know I can't, then I'll take a couple of days off. Um, it's probably in my younger years, it was probably smarter for me to structure the deloads just because I was one of those people that never liked to stop doing it, and I would eventually run myself into the ground and force myself into one of those situations where you had to. But now I've gotten better and smarter in my old age to know when to back off for a day or two and then just kind of get back into it.
So, just a reminder, guys, the best question of the day gets a free Massive Iron T-shirt shipped anywhere in the world. And you can chime in if you think somebody should deserve to win. So let us know. Joe, training with type 2 diabetes on insulin, any advice? Training. My best advice, Joe, as somebody that had type 2 pretty bad. I mean, type 2 nearly killed me. Fatty liver disease from type 2. Is diet. I can't stress enough, just from general health. And you're like, diet, what does that have to do with training? Well, that if you're taking care of food, you're going to feel a lot better when it comes to the gym. So make sure your nutrition is nailed. And type 2, Robert, do you know anything about, maybe Joe knows, how many people with type 2 take insulin? Do they continue to take it once like you get to a more normalized body weight? Doesn't type 2 tend to disappear?
I think it's a matter of the severity and the duration that you've had it. So, I mean, my dad's been type 2 for 20 plus years now. He's still on insulin. He's on a short acting and a fast acting, like a long acting and a short acting insulin. But then again, he's only recently started to really get serious about his health. He's still not doing resistance training, which I can't beat it into his head enough how much he has to do that, and just kind of blows it off. But I mean, whatever. He's 60 plus years old and just stuck in his ways. So,
well, I will say, like, when I had when I was dealing with it, it's very highly individual how it hits you, when it hits you.
Yeah.
Like when it was bad for me, when I was on limited sleep, when I had junk food occasionally, or limited sleep, junk food, or alcohol, or the trifecta of all three. Like I would very rarely stray, but when I had those three, I would wake up the next day and my blood sugar would be crazy.
Yeah.
So sleep, get your sleep down, get your diet down, kill that alcohol as much as possible because that'll help with sleep. And a lot of it's just highly specific. I can't tell you when to eat or what to eat. I'm no doctor. You just kind of listen to your body. And that's the best advice I can give you. If you're feeling crashes during your workout, though, you might have to move some pieces around the game board a little bit.
Yeah, either check your insulin, take when you're taking your shots or your pills or whatever you're taking, or mess around with some pre-workout nutrition. Mess around with your carb timing. How soon before your workout are you having your carbohydrates, and then what forms of the carbohydrates are you having? And maybe throwing in like a little fat to help sustain those steady blood sugar levels could help too.
Yeah. So, all right. I'm just preparing for another question here. What do we got here? Gyms have been closed for 6 months here in Germany, and even when they open, they'll probably ask for a vaccination or a daily test. I'm really sorry to hear that because I don't feel like I don't feel like anybody should be forced to get a vaccination. It's your body. I haven't been sick for 4 years. I haven't had a stomach flu. I haven't had a cold. I live in my office. I'm not exposed to a lot of people. I live outdoors. I got vitamin C up the wazooski. I'm as healthy and have as strong immune system as I could possibly have. And I'm not going to get a vaccine because honestly, 70% of my clients that take it are getting sick for a couple days. I don't want that in my life. I don't. So I'll just leave it at that. All right. Difference between Massive Iron Insider and Patreon. I'm gonna be honest with you, Rico. I'm remodeling things because number one, the Massive Iron Insider was a great opportunity, but 90% of people who sign up never message me. They go on my private app. On the forum, I'm not getting any messages. And with Insider, you get a chance for me to help you. You get a chance for me to help you. Let's look at your diet. Let's look at your training. Let's look at your exercise form. In addition, with Insider, you get every book I ever made for free, every workout. But, for whatever reason, because of the way things are structured, I got people signing up and they aren't using it. And I don't really want people giving me $25 a month for not using something. So I haven't really full launched Patreon yet. I'm considering doing Patreon because, people could get private Q&As. I've been on some Patreon pages and people were more responsive. It actually was a better community than what I have now. So I'm considering testing it, but I'm also considering restructuring coaching a little bit to right now. I do daily hands-on service. I'm looking at having a slightly less expensive tier and just doing Monday and Friday or weekly check-ins. So people can still be coached, but I only do a weekly check-in. And then I'm also looking at a service where, you can sign up to the app, but I only respond when you message me. So it's up to you to ask questions and take initiative. And that would be like a lower tier. And, I'd like to get this. I'm trying to restructure it so I can get Robert on board as well with this as well for any of you guys that want access to Robert. So we got an intruder alert.
You have to do this every Friday.
Here's my beautiful wife.
Hey, Fiona.
And
Hello.
Mr. B. Butters of Butterville, who's now Bubba Sauce, the sauce boss. And
he loves lots of kisses.
And I call him Buddy Pal. He's my buddy pal. And I got a lick in my eye. I can't get that lick out of my eye.
Does he respond to all of those different names?
Bubba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bubba.
Watch how he responds to this.
Go like this. And go like this one.
You blow at him, he's like.
Or if you go, he'll look at you like, that's that.
This guy's the best. I didn't think this guy would be. I never had a dachshund before. Holy shit, I'm getting eaten. Never had a dachshund before, but it's actually one of the best dogs I've had. It's so fun and so much personality. Just a great dog. All right. So anyway, back to the last question. I'm looking at restructuring things. Robert and I are talking about redoing our master classes and everything. There's a lot of stuff we need to do. But we'll get around to it. I just don't want to offer a service that's not being used. I want to find a way to help people and to structure it better. Back in the gym after all the COVID layoffs, any ideas on a simple linear for my main compounds? Simplicity. Don't do linear. I mean, what I do something like I do after your first 3-4 weeks of break-in. I got a program called Threes, and I got a program where you just do like 8, and then max. I'm building my bench back up, and my gym's right back here, and I'm doing 8 max, which is on bench. I'll put on start with 135 or 95, do 8 reps, and then max reps. And if you hit 10 or more, then add 5 pounds to the bar. You could do 6 and max. So if you hit 6 and 8, you could add 5 pounds to the bar. You could do that on squats. You can do that on bench. let's think outside of the box here a little bit and get away from linear, progression. Let's do the 6-6-8, the 8-8-10. Use that last set for as many quality reps as you can, and that's a better way to get your bench and squat back up. That's sustainable. You go in the gym, say you're at 155 on bench, and you do 8-8-10. Okay, last set. Only the last set's max reps. So you move up to 160 the next week, and you do 8-8-9. You're like, I didn't get it. Well, at least you have an opportunity. You moved up in weight. So next week you might you'd be shooting for 10 reps, right? So there's always each week there's always a goal, but we're practicing safe sets. So there's many ways to do it, but linear is like forcing 5 pound, 10 pounds addition, oftentimes at the expense of form. Timothy, hey guys, great info. Thanks for tuning in. Larry, I'm having very slow progress with pull-ups. I use bands to help. Any accessory exercise to help with progression? Robert, I'm curious to see your thoughts on this, but I don't really find working pull-ups with bands to generally be efficient. I've never seen anybody, not saying you can't, but I've never seen that as the best way to progress with pull-ups.
No, the resistance profile on the banded pull-ups is counterproductive. Not counterproductive, but it's not assisting you in the areas where you actually need it. It's making the easier spots of the pull-up easier, making the hard spots a little bit harder. Or it's not benefiting you in the harder spots of the actual rep, which is what you would like to do from a band. Easiest thing is to lose weight, because then you can increase your strength to weight ratio. Outside of that, you could do jumping pull-ups or slow pull-ups like jump up to the bar, hold it, and then slowly lower down and jump up again. Do that on like your last set or on your off day of pull-ups. You can also do inverted rows that get you used to moving your body weight through space. You can do suspension trainer. You can use a barbell setup and a power rack. You can use a Smith machine. If you got dip bars, you can do that. You can also do Australian pull-ups or jackknife pull-ups, where you basically set the bar in a rack and your body's in a V, and you put your feet up on a chair, bench, or something like that. And so you're really only having to do a vertical pull with about half your body weight. So you can do it that. You can do it with suspension trainer too if you have access to one of those. Maybe we need to upload some videos of these, Steve, because it's kind of hard to explain. But inverted rows, Australian pull-ups, or the assisted jackknife pull-ups, you can call them that. Regular pull-ups, start holding isometrics. You can do slow eccentrics once you've done like your main reps, and mix your grips up. So one workout do maybe neutral grip, the next workout do chin-ups that way.
Yeah, I can't stress enough that if you struggle with pull-ups, to try neutral grip pull-ups. There's a chance you might be a little bit better at them. And over on my website, which is right above my head, I have a program called 12 Weeks to Better Push-Ups and Pull-Ups. And it's not a magical program, but what we do is look at real-world math and the value of adding 1 to 2 reps a month. You're going to be doing your pull-ups in the form of block sets, and you are going to be doing them up to 4 times a week. But the goal is to slowly add a rep or 2 a month, which doesn't seem like a lot. But how many people truly attack their pull-ups in the same way they attack their bench press like this? And adding 1 to 2 reps a month over the course of a year or 2, by the time you're done after that year, 18 months, you're going to be a pull-up machine. So a big source of frustration is for folks is they want to go from like 3 to 12. Well, it's going to be harder to go from 3 to 4 than it is going to be go from 11 to 12. So sometimes you might have to do frequency. So this is one option available if you want.
Yeah, and pull-ups are just a bear. I mean, they're a hard exercise to progress. They're a very demanding body weight exercise. If you're really serious about improving them, Larry, put them first in your workout. Don't put them after anything else. If that's something you're dead set on improving, make that the first thing you do when you're at your freshest, both mentally and physically.
Do them a couple times a week and train them over the course of a year like you would your bench. Just go after them.
Yeah.
Timothy, thoughts of cream of rice And thoughts on cream of rice and scoop of protein before a workout. I don't like to eat right before a workout. And cream of rice is like cream of wheat. I imagine it. It probably sets heavy, slow digesting. Robert, when it comes to putting food in your stomach prior to a workout, the body has some decisions to make. And I'm not saying any of these will be super critical, but it takes a lot of blood, does it not, to digest food?
Yeah, and so if you eat too big of a meal before your workout, you're going to have food just kind of like sloshing around in your GI tract while you're training, which is why a lot of people end up feeling nauseous. You're going to have that heavy, sluggish feeling. Could you use cream of rice and a scoop of protein? I know, there's a bunch of bodybuilders that talk about doing that, or oatmeal with a scoop of protein and berries and peanut butter and all that. Yeah, it's a perfect, fine pre-workout meal. Am I having it 15 minutes before I go train? No freaking way. You want to have it an hour, 90 minutes, 120 minutes, 2 hours before your workout? Sure, that's a perfectly viable option. I just don't like to eat immediately before I go train. I don't like that feeling whatsoever. I didn't like it when I was doing taekwondo as a kid, up through early adulthood. I don't like it now when I'm doing resistance training or even like an interval training workout. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I just don't think it's a particularly wise thing. And somewhere along the line, people think they needed to eat right before. When I'm, into the ultra running world, I can tell you that one of the key issues you struggle with is you're running for a long period of time, but you need fuel. So, my wife would get sick during these long, long runs because she would have undigested food and even undigested water in your stomach. So one of the best things, what we had to learn was to stop and let this food digest. But why this matters for lifting is if you go in and train hard, the body has to decide whether it wants to put that blood into the digestive system or if it wants to put that blood into the muscles. And it's probably going to prioritize the muscles because you're trying to kill it. And it's going to leave that food pretty much useless or, limp. So I always ate about 2 hours before training. It was usually about 400 calories tops. And I never had an issue. If you bonk during the workout, you can take some simple sugars like 15 minutes in. There's these things on Amazon called honey stingers. They're chewies that are used by runners. You could pop a couple of those. And that's, it's fast digesting and it's low risk, if you feel like you're bonking in your workout because you're not eating right before. Bilal, hello. When's the pre-workout coming out? As soon as we can get the manufacturer things aligned with the manufacturer, because we got to get flavors right. We got to get formula. Where are we with the formula?
Yeah, formula is. I'm waiting on costs for 2 more ingredients, and then it's gonna be material availability. Then we go into flavor testing because some of these ingredients are super gnarly to flavor, like rhodiola is a bear to flavor. And there's 1 or 2 other ones that's pretty challenging, but and then we got to see if we can get something that jives with the flavors that Steve and I want to do. So yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, we got some hard decisions to make. Number one, we're trying to put together the best pre-workout possible. And we're not trying to dominate the world by selling 1 million and getting this in the Amazon. But, there has to be a balance here between the best possible. We're trying to make the best possible ingredients taste the best they can. So flavor is kind of a secondary issue. So it might be something where, okay, this is the best we can do with the best possible ingredients. But at the end of the day, it takes you 2 seconds to digest or to slam, and we'll make it as palatable as possible. But
yeah, and for God's sakes, please don't anybody dry scoop this thing. Don't. That's just idiotic to do that shit. Don't dry scoop your supplements. It's retarded.
This is going to be like the Danny D of pre-workouts. It's going to be like potent and big and powerful with an ugly body. So the pre-workout will be like the best you can get, okay? But the flavor might be like Danny D's body. I'm not saying the flavor won't be great. I mean, we're going to push for the best possible flavor, but the ingredient profile comes first. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
As soon as we get that nailed,
And it's going to be a couple of weeks for them to run the units and all that, but we'll have it up for pre-sale soon.
yeah, we'll have it up for pre-sale as soon as we get costs done. Because without costs, we can't really figure out what we're going to sell, what we have to sell it for.
Right.
And as far as selling it, again, this is a passion project. We're not trying to make $1 billion. What we're trying to do is mark it up appropriately so we can take that money and roll it into the next round of pre-workouts so we don't go broke, because we're not major corporations. So the money we invested like $4,500 just to get the creatine off the starting gates, and we got to take the money we made from the creatine and put it back in the creatine, and then put it back into the pre-workout, and it's kind of self-perpetuating, So
yep.
We have to wait till we get. Basically, long story short, we have to wait till we get the cost figured out. The Legit J. Going to donate for this. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Your 4-set bench and squat programs got me very strong quickly. Appreciate it. That's what we were just talking about, bench and squat 4s. I made a video about this a while back. I dial that down to deadlift 3s. But yeah, it's a good program, and I appreciate it. That's actually what I used when I was at my strongest, when I was approaching the age of 50. I'd go in, do the heavy work, and then I'd back off and do a lot of volume. Is lower back discomfort sometimes under recovery from things like deadlifts? If form is fine. I'm going to stop you here because I'm going to be honest, and I've not seen your deadlift, so take it for what it's worth. But 99% of people that tell me their form is fine, their form is not fine. Because and I'm not calling anybody an idiot, but what I'm saying is you need a quality coach like myself to point out things that the average person doesn't see. Like your weight is not on your heels. Like you're pulling the bar instead of trying to drive with the head. So like your weight could be a little bit forward, or you could be too far under the bar. Your head position is inconsistent. You need somebody to look at these things, because the smallest difference can make a big impact on your lower back. I had a video from a client today. In his first deadlift, his head was down. And then the rest of them, his head was normal, the rest of the reps. And I pointed out to him, I said, watch your head position on the first deadlift rep. And he's like, oh, I never thought of that before. Where the head goes, the body goes, the lower back goes. So when you feel lower back discomfort, 9 times out of 10, it's your form, right? It's your form contributing to it. I'm not saying your form is the sole contributor, but it's probably a big contributor. So send me a video, Ben the Barman on Instagram.com. We have to look at that first before we speculate about anything else.
Also think about how you're sitting during the day and your posture just or anything else, because a lot of people sit and slouch and they dump all this stress into their low back, and it just, that low level chronic tension can lead to soreness and lead to stress and detriments in other areas of life too.
Yeah, so me, I'm sitting upright. Like I'm very aware of my posture, because if I slouch, it's going to kill my mid and lower back.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here all day. So do you have a multivitamin you recommend for 55 plus? And if you guys have supplement questions, pop them in here, because Robert is the world's greatest supplement expert.
Yeah, or you can say nootropics. We'll throw nootropics in there too, just because I think sometimes there's a different, people don't understand nootropics and supplements, but if you guys have stuff like focus and mental energy, stuff like that, we can get into that stuff too. What were we going to say? Multivitamin 55 plus, Orange Triad, Controlled Labs, PES, True Multi, Glaxon's multivitamin, Ghost's multivitamin, NutriBio's multi-sport for men vitamin. Any of those are great options.
Thanks, Robert. And if you have any questions about them or you missed it, slide into Robert's DM on Instagram at The Supplement Engineer. And please, I encourage you guys to follow him. Robert has a great podcast every Saturday. If you are interested in supplements at all, or you find them, you're interested by the subject, you can't miss this podcast. What time is that on, Robert?
That is 1 p.m. Central Time every Saturday, and then I do solo interview episodes intermittently as well. But the main podcast is The Final Scoop. That's on Saturdays, 1 p.m. Central Time, Supplement Engineer YouTube channel.
So these supplement goofballs are so excited about supplements that on Saturday afternoon, instead of chilling, throwing back brewskis, watching a game, or out shopping with their wife, these goofballs are talking supplements live on YouTube.
Yes, we are, telling embarrassing stories and making fun of each other. Yep, that's what we do.
Yeah. So if you want to get in on that click, it's really an informative YouTube podcast thing. Robert, I'm in Austin. I want my massive creatine hand delivered.
That can work, John. Order the units, send them to my house, and then I'll drive them over to you.
Yep. I actually ordered 10 units. I got them here because locals want to buy them. So I don't recommend having Robert hand deliver anything. Having Robert show up at your house could be a little disturbing. It'd be like, oh my God, a live YouTube celebrity is here. Let's get the video. Let's get the video camera.
Alert TMZ.
Mom will get the video camera and she'll be filming with the old school.
There we go.
Fifth post. How's it going, Yari? If you could take only one supplement, which would it be? Okay. Don't answer yet, Robert. If the average man, because I assume the gray rhino is a man. It could be a woman. I don't know. The average individual out there could take one supplement. I'm going to say, well, it depends on if your goal is muscle building. If it's muscle building, it's creatine, right?
Yeah.
If it's not muscle building, if it's just general health, vitamin D?
Yeah, vitamin D. I mean, even creatine for general health too, because there's a bunch of benefits as far as like long-term cognitive health that are coming out on creatine as well. Yeah, creatine, vitamin D, that's all up there. Fish oil, if you don't consume enough fish. Any of those three are in the running for top 3 vitamins. Top 3 supplements.
So, Robert, as far as fish, what's your go-to fish choices? Anything you eat every week?
Wild Atlantic salmon and mahi-mahi are the 2 fish that I usually have each week.
How do you cook your tuna?
I don't have tuna.
I thought mahi-mahi was tuna. No?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No.
Why did I think that?
It's a firm whitefish.
Okay. We don't get it. I don't see it around here. So.
I get them frozen. It's not like I'm getting them fresh. It's the individually like frozen packet fillets that you can buy from Sam's. They got really good, the wild Alaskan salmon there and the mahi-mahi there for a decent price. And so I just take those out and I'll either grill them I'll put them in the air fryer. I can do it that way, or I'll cook them in a pan on the nonstick skillet, or when the weather's nice outside, I'll grill them outside.
I am the biggest fan of steelhead trout, and people probably get sick of me talking about it.
Really good.
It's not a strong flavor. It goes well with just rice, salt, and soy. Not a lot you need other than that. And it's just hands down my favorite fish.
Yeah.
So, Robert, how are you feeling about Satan's Gape, devil's food fudge flavor?
If we ever release a protein powder or something like that, I'm definitely down for some devil's food action. There are not enough really great tasting dark chocolate proteins on the market. The closest one is Apollo Nutrition's Dutch chocolate, which I think is probably my favorite chocolate protein on the market. And that's not just because I do some consulting work and I know Robbie really well there. But I love dark chocolate flavors. And if Steve and I ever grow this thing to the point where we're doing a protein powder, we're going to do a devil's food fudge, like rich, dark, girthy, deep chocolate.
Girthy. Back to Danny D again. All right. Look, I have no affiliate. I have no horse in this race. So I just want to show you this. For Mother's Day, let me pull this up. I just saw this morning. And the Mother's Day weekend, if you want to get a protein flavor and you want to save a lot of money, Tiger Fitness is dumping their Black Raz chocolate chip, BOGO. BOGO is probably below cost. And they're probably, I'm just assuming here, this is a lot. They're blowing this out. They're blowing this out. It's not coming back. I saw Mark Lobliner saying it's not coming back. There's a good chance the reason they're blowing this out is because it tastes like monkey's ass. I've not
Or close to expiration date too.
Yeah, or close to expiration date. So I don't know either one, but I do know you can get 10 pounds of quality whey for $60 this weekend. I get nothing from that. I just happen to see it. So if you guys want to stock up, there you go. I don't recall ever seeing a BOGO before on a whey protein. What's going on, Daniel? Hope your weekend is off to a fun start. Yari says, I just watch. That's okay. We sincerely appreciate it. The moment people stop watching, that's when I start doing the people greeter thing at Walmart and just say, back in the day, I had a YouTube channel. You remember YouTube, man? Hey, sir, I put $1 in the machine and the claw didn't move to get the stuff down. That'll be my future job if you guys stop watching. All right. Radine, I went from 120 to 109 at 5'5". Some days I feel like I have no energy to train. How to gain back the motivation after my cut? 5'5" would be approximately, if you had 5 inches, approximately 134 for 5'10". That's super, super, super on the low end of leanness. Like a lot of times, Robert, when you look at the weight recommendations, from the 30s and 40s for men that are 5'10", they're like 134 to 174, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And people will laugh at the 134. But relatively speaking, for 5'5", you're at the super low end. How do I gain back the motivation after my cut? You have created a platform to pack on a lot of muscle mass and dramatically change your physique.
Yep.
You need to gain about 1.5 pounds a month, to upwards of 2 pounds a month if you are training hard. So motivation isn't something that you say, hey, I have motivation and it's here forever and I'm set and I'm good to go. Motivation is something you cultivate daily. Number one, you put together a plan, and that could be a workout plan, an eating plan. You have to have a structure. And then step number 2 is you have to say, I'm a big boy. I'm an adult. I'm going to follow the plan, even if I don't want to, because I want to get to where the end goal is. And number 3, motivation is something you cultivate. It's like a plant. You have to tend to it daily. I watch videos, read articles. I surround myself with books from experts. I surround myself with quality information, like-minded people that keep me focused on the goal. And you could also hire a good coach like myself, and I'd be glad to help you out. Robert, anything to add?
Nope. That's it.
All right, Dave Argentino, any rest between warm-up sets? Don't overthink warm-ups. I mean, warm-ups, the real goal is to not fatigue the body by warming up the central nervous system, get the body temperature up a little bit. Don't rush. If you have to rush, you're probably doing something wrong. But yeah, just keep it naturally. Anything to add to that, Robert?
No, just take it it's warm-up sets are just priming the muscles, joints, ligaments, connective tissue, and your central nervous system. You shouldn't be taking them to failure or inducing high amounts of fatigue. It's just to kind of prep everything, get it ready, get the joints nice and lubricated, supple, and get after it. So 5-6 reps on each thing, and then just bang it up. I like more of like the feeder set mentality than warm-up sets where you do like 15 reps and 12 reps and 8 reps, and then try to just do like 5 reps, 3 reps, 1 rep, just to kind of feel the weight and get the movement pattern, get your body used to that load, and then just grip it and rip it.
Yep, we got
maybe a minute, 90 seconds tops. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, we got a lot. We have lubrication. We have load, supple, and grip it and rip it. So I think mentioning Danny D has got Robert excited. The first thing he's going to do when he gets off.
Don't forget girthy, Steve. The first thing I do after I get over this is go and install fence posts. That's the first thing I got to do.
Install fence post.
Wait, here we go. Lay in the wood. There we go.
Yeah, lay in the wood. Rob, doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu 3 times a week. Is it effective or overkill to lift 3 times? No, not at all. It's about balance. I have many clients that do martial arts. 2 days a week. 2 days a week is fine when you're lifting Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You just got to be smart about the plan. Maybe have some form of exercise rotation. But that sounds like a fine plan. Robert's more of a martial artist than I am, but I don't see any holes in that.
No, it's not overkill at all. Effective would be good. 2 days a week lifting, I would say that's more maintaining what you've already built. 3 days is a good amount, a good base level if you're looking to build and improve upon what you've already built. And yeah, 2 days you can lift weights, and the third day is body weight. Yeah, that's a perfectly fine split.
And what do we got here? Combat Ace, no access to non-food stores without vaccine pass or testing here in Germany.
That's absurd.
The food stores are where everybody goes to, so at least I have my own barbell. Yep, you have your own barbell. They say all things shall pass, but I used to think that was true in life. It is, because eventually, a million years from now, we won't have this in our collective. If we're still around as a species, all things shall pass, but this might not pass for a long, long time. If it comes to that, I'll be ordering food like $1,000 at a pop, and I'll just be hunkered down, storing up food.
Yep. Or move to Florida. That's where freedom still reigns.
I'm not doing any vaccine passes. Daniel, how do you motivate a person that wants a better body but doesn't have the drive to go after it? I can't. Structure is a starting point. You can equip them for success. You have to have a structure and a plan. You just can't sit around waiting for motivation. It requires action. Action creates motivation, sustains motivation. So the worst thing you can do if you don't feel motivated is go to the gym anyway. I don't feel motivated to cook. Do it anyway. Fuck motivation, really. You got to pull up your big boy pants. When somebody talks to me about motivation, I'm like, fuck off with motivation. Just like, I had somebody this week tell me, I'm bored with my workout. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. Are you bored brushing your teeth? I'm bored brushing my teeth. I don't want to brush my teeth. I don't give a fuck. You can walk around with nasty breath and teeth falling out. You're an adult. Go do what you need to do to get to where you want to go. So motivation, at some point we have to look in the mirror and have a real conversation with ourselves and say, I'm an adult. This is where I want to go. I don't feel like working out. Well, then don't work out. You don't feel like going to work, but you fucking go to work. Well, most of us in this day and age. But at the end of the day, you got to be real with yourself. I mean, you have to take action steps, and you have to find a way to get them done. The people that tell me I don't have time, the common one I hear, Robert, is my fitness pal is too hard. Like, come on.
Yeah, or tracking calories is too hard. I hate those excuses. I absolutely loathe those things.
I mean, my fitness pal, the hardest part's the first 2 days when you're entering new foods. And then unless you're eating 1,000 different things every week, it automatically finds your last food as a fucking food scanner, for the love of God.
Right.
What do I do on the days I don't want to lift? Here's what I do mentally. I just go in and start the first set, and I feel like shit.
Yeah.
And then I do the second warm-up set, and I feel like shit. I don't focus on the next hour and 15 minutes I have to work out. I focus on the next set. I just got to get the next set done. And then somewhere 30 minutes in, I feel like a rock star, like normal again, and the workout's almost done. So what do I do on the days, Robert, when it's Saturday morning, the alarm goes off at 6 a.m., I got to run for 4 hours, And I would rather sit at home and watch baseball highlights and sip a coffee and smoke a cigar. What do? I look in the mirror at myself and I say, fuck you. You know, do you want to be mediocre? I mean, really, do you want to be mediocre? And there's nothing wrong with getting up, having a cigar, smoking your coffee. But, you know, why the fuck do people torture themselves? Like, either you're going to work out or you're not going to work out. Either you're part of that world or you're not a part of that world. But if you're not a part of that world and you can't find the motivation to be a part of that world, why the fuck do you spend every second of every day obsessing about that world? I'm going to eat better. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to work out. I'm going to work out. Some people spend their whole adult lives trapped in that. And for the love of God, they never relax. How many women do this?
Absolutely.
You know, and like this, their whole life is like a skipping record.
Yeah, just this constant state of angst.
Just go do it. Get it over with.
Yeah, and one other point is like motivation is fleeting. It lasts for maybe 5-10 minutes, and then it's out the window, and then you're looking for like that next spike of dopamine to get you kind of motivated. And there's no way it's going to come from constructing habits. And if you will not be able to motivate somebody else that doesn't want to change themselves. So maybe Daniel's trying to refer to this to a friend or significant other, somebody else that he's trying to get them to. It's not going to happen. I've been trying to get my dad to lift weights and improve, his diabetes and get one of my aunts healthy for going on 20 years now. And it always falls on deaf ears or you don't know what you're talking about, Robert. You're not a doctor. You're not a nurse. You're whatever. Okay. One of us doesn't have type 2 diabetes and isn't overweight, and the other one is.
The best way you can motivate anybody is to live an impeccable life.
Yeah.
Be superior, and people around you will watch. They're always watching. But that doesn't mean even 1 out of 100 will change. But, in life, as a species, when we are superior, it motivates other people to see that potential in themselves inherently. That's why I'm fucking here. I mean, that's why I have this channel. Because I lost 100 pounds, because I pushed myself as a power lifter, because I pushed myself as a runner. I'm not here because I'm a fucking genius. I'm here because I did that, and everybody has that power. Everybody has that potential.
Yeah.
I don't know. Motivating others, I'm just going to say this last word. It's not our job to be a savior. It's not. It's not our job to save people. It's our job to love people and to be kind. But if you spend your life like looking at, like, it's a good idea to look at people for what they can be. Like when you meet people, instead of looking at them for where they are, look at them for their potential, and that'll help change your perspective on life. But we can't change people. We're not their savior. We can love them. We can be kind. But the moment you start forcing stuff on them is the moment people are going to be like, hey, go fuck off, asshole.
Yeah, they turn you off real quick.
Anyway, all right, thoughts on Gorilla Mode Pre? I think we've
covered this thing to death.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, there's a bunch of great pre-workouts on the market. And made by people not trying to pass off bullshit muscle builders like Turkesterone on their website. So go support another brand that isn't hawking bullshit.
Yeah, Robert and I are going to do a video about Turkesterone this week. I didn't even know what it was, so I was busting Robert's balls earlier. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, no. There's a ton of other companies that are selling stuff that I'm not even affiliated with that sell great products and don't sell bullshit on their site like Turkesterone. So yeah.
Robert, what would you think about doing videos on your channel or on a new channel that were all supplement reviews? Like just having hyper focus. Like people ask me about Athlean X's supplement line.
Just doing like an analysis of the label, you're saying, or do you want me to like actually buy the products and run them?
Oh, no. I mean, just a cursory look at the ingredients, whether it's even worth buying to test the flavor.
Yeah, we can do that.
And I wouldn't do a whole line at a time, but we could look at pre-workouts and Right now we're making one content video a week, me and you during the week. It might be worthwhile to consider doing just a second channel, reviews. Not necessarily even a review, but more like how does this stack up versus modern science?
Yeah, like just a breakdown of the label, where the dosages are at.
Yeah. So, and we could give it a thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever, but just toss that around because I think that is a lot of potential.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of supplement review channels out there, and a lot of them are just shit. Like they go and lobby these companies for free product, and then how often are they actually going to give something a bad review if they're getting it for free from the product, or they're receiving paid endorsement from those things? And so obviously they're definitely not going to say something negative about it. And then the other half don't even understand what the fuck the ingredients are supposed to do. They're just looking for it if it's going to stim them out and they're going to feel cracked out or whatever, and they review the flavor. There's very little in the way of science.
Let's look at even something like this, for example. Like flavor, do you like it? Do you don't like it? I mean, I don't want to hear some reviews whether somebody likes the flavor. What I want to do is like see this, enter the matrix of ingredients. I want to say, what do you have to think about? What do you have to say about that?
Right.
So just something to think about. I'm always looking for ways to make Robert a billionaire because he's so smart. He should be a trillionaire, but we'll try to get him to a billionaire.
Billion. I'll settle for $1 billion.
It's +1 on exercise, but slightly more rest between sets, still progress. Well, rest has to be natural, and it's going to ebb and flow. I mean, it's going to come and go. Some days you're more tired. Some days you feel better. You don't force rest in between sets unless you're on a rest pause program. Anytime you have a strength increase, yes, it's a strength. It's a rep increase. If you restrict rest between sets, your reps are like, if you really restrict them, your reps are likely to go down. If you expand rest, your reps are likely to stay the same.
Mm-hmm.
So in that logical flow, any +1 is earned. So anything to add to that, Robert?
No, that's that. Anything I would say would be redundant at that point.
Massive pre-workout should come in blue raz flavor.
Never, ever. I'm not even going to do something cute and say like blue lemonade or electric blue lemonade or something like no. There will be no blue raspberry. No blue raspberry whatsoever. No products we release are going to be blue raspberry. Ever. Ever. Quote me on that. And if I ever release a blue raspberry flavor, I quit. I will cede all my profits in this venture to Steve, and I will leave the supplement industry. I hate blue raz with a passion.
So I don't mind blue raz, but here's the thing. Robert doesn't like blue raz. And if you give me something fruit punch or grape, I'll punch in the snaz. I just like forget it. So
you want blue raz? Go buy C4.
Yeah. So we gotta like fruit punch and grape and blue raz are off the table, and I don't want to do stuff like lemonade, or whatever. So we'll see.
Never, ever.
Like red hot spicy pickle juice flavor, something like that. Josh Bryant bodyweight programs are great. DUP full body squats on Monday, 3 times 5. P squats on Wednesday, 3 sets, less weight, of course, Friday. I love frequent squats. Thoughts? I don't love frequent squats. If you love them, do them. I mean, if you love squats 3 times a week, do them. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're looking at what's the end goal, if you're looking at muscle building, you need exercise variety. If you're looking at building up a squat, do you need to squat 3 times a week? No. So there's nothing wrong with doing something you love, but you asked my thoughts. From a muscle building standpoint, it's mediocre at best. You need variety for your quads and hamstrings. From a strength standpoint, it's not required. From a fun, do I enjoy it standpoint, have at it. So anything to add, Robert?
No. Greg put a comment at the very end of the feed that says I was joking with you guys with the blue raz. I knew you were joking, Greg. I am reiterating my abhorrence for the concept and flavor that is blue raz. I know you were joking and you're jabbing because you're a frequent commenter. No, I absolutely loathe blue raz as a flavor. Sandy can tolerate it. I hate it.
Didn't MTS Nutrition have a blue raspberry BCAAs?
I'm sure they do.
It was really good, but sometimes it's not the flavor; it's just that they nail the flavor. You know, we actually got some comments on Facebook. It's a miracle.
It's working for Tony.
Yeah, I guess so. Beef McLewis, have either of you been able to get your shoulders sore? Mine are a little sore, but it's rare. Like 5 times in 35 years of training, rare. Like minor, like, is that sore? Almost sore. But like, I can't walk like quad sore. Nah. My chesticles are sore. I can't touch my head sore. No. With my shoulder soreness, it's like, is that sore? I think it's kind of sore. So no. One thing I stress, Robert, and correct me if I'm wrong here, or if I'm missing anything, is the muscle fascia, connective tissue. Each muscle group has a different fascia makeup, right? And I've been hitting at this for years, and one day science will catch up to me because I'm a superior human being with advanced knowledge given to me by alien race.
Don't forget, extremely modest as well.
Yes. And very, very modest. I'm really the first one to tell you. And when I apologize for being wrong, you have to believe it, and it's not just to make more money. So the sensory neurons have or the fascia connective tissue have 9 times more sensory neurons than muscle tissue. So the pain or the soreness you often feel, there's a good chance that a lot of it is from the connective tissue, not actually from the muscle. Okay. So I'm standing firm in that until science catches up with me. And the reason why I believe that is to add to that, like every muscle group has a different fascia connective tissue makeup. If it was just muscle soreness, everything would probably be sore equally from working it out hard. So what I'm saying, I'm not saying there isn't muscle soreness. I'm saying it's more complex. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Am I an idiot? I don't know.
I don't know. Dips get my shoulders really sore, and pike push-ups get mine sore. Dumbbell presses don't tend to get them as sore, but I find dips, going like really deep on dips, getting a really deep stretch, man, that gets this whole front anterior deltoid all kinds of pissed off at me.
Robert, I am a month into a cut. When you say dip, all that comes into my brain is chips and salsa.
I just made a fresh batch of salsa the other day. Sandy goes through that stuff faster than I can make it.
One of these days, Robert, we're just going to, I'm so sick of the shutdown. We're just going to drive to Texas and stay at your place for a week.
Do it. I will feed you proper and make you all kinds of loopy on some good bourbon and beer.
We'll just get stupid drunk and make retardedly.
We'll do a live podcast while we're sipping, and I'll let you crack open a cigar too.
Okay, thanks, Robert. Gonzalo, maybe if the Arnold ever fires up again, we might run into each other again. Push-pull legs, 5-day rotation. Push-pull legs, yeah. One of the best ways to do a push-pull legs, in my opinion, is to have 2 variations: push A, push B, pull A, pull B, legs A, legs B, and rotate between those 6 workouts, inserting rest days where you need them. So you can do 2 on, 1 off. Keep your rest days flexible. The only thing I don't like is 6 days in a row. I don't think that has value for anybody. 5 days is about the max I'd like to see you doing a push-pull. Robert, have you ever taken a full push-pull legs and done it 6 days a week?
Usually I would do 3 days and then off, and then another 3 days and then off. I like having that 4th day if I'm going to run it. I don't do 6 days straight.
Daniel's a martial artist, so I'd be curious, how he trains hard. And we just moved his program down to 3 days a week because he's kind of living in the gym, he was kind of living in the gym, so we reduced some things. I can't recommend Steven's coaching enough. Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it greatly. It's always fun to work with good people. I appreciate you spending time with us. Will you be doing more of these on a regular basis? Every Friday at 11 a.m. Every Friday.
Yep.
Richard Murray, hi guys. Looking forward to this every Friday. Doing massive 5x5 in my garage gym. Don't have leg curl attachments. Will Swiss ball leg curls be okay?
I definitely think so. I mean, yeah, that plus you're getting hip extension with that, and you're getting knee flexion, so you're working both functions of the hamstrings with the Swiss ball leg curls as opposed to just regular leg curls, which are just working knee flexion right there. So yeah, I think that's definitely good. And if you get to the spot where you're doing like 4 sets of 15 on Swiss ball leg curls, start slowing down the eccentric, hold the top contracted position for 2 seconds, and then do a 3 or 4 second slow eccentric pause in the fully stretched position, then do that again. You can progress to single leg Swiss ball leg curls. You can do a suspension trainer. I'm assuming you've got 5x5 in a garage gym. You've got a rack of some kind. You can progress to straps using the suspension trainer leg curls. You can even do floor leg curls. I find I get an even stronger contraction where I'm doing sliding leg curls on the floor with like 2 rags under my feet or 2 hand towels, or you can buy furniture sliders or whatever, than I do with the stability ball leg curls or the Swiss ball leg curls. But yeah, absolutely.
For those of you guys with home gyms, I can't. I can't, like, if you want to, working hamstrings can be extremely frustrating. If you get your hyper or back extension machine, you can do glute ham raises on these where you don't just pop up, where you pop back up on your knees and do a hamstring curl at the end. I have one of these in my gym, and it is an absolute staple. I can work hamstrings with it, and it makes me very, very happy. It's only like $139. And these guys, this is Titan Fitness. I get no money from them, but I love their equipment and I love their service. If you guys are also looking to add something to your home gym for your legs, you got the back extension machine, but you also, where's the old sissy squatteroo? Right here. See this sissy squat machine? It's out of stock, but it should be back in stock soon. I have these, and it's absolutely brilliant for quads. And for $300, you can get a hyper extension and a sissy squat machine, and you can really kick your leg workout up a notch. And I got a big butt, and this works well for me. So I'm getting hungry. Pass the chips. Dave, have either of you guys used the slide rule? Program Fortran. Dave, let me take you back in history to the era of the Tandy computer and the tape drive, Dave.
That was my uncle's computer that we always used to play Digger on when I was a kid. They had a Tandy, and we had a Commodore 64 at my house.
Back then, I was one. I would program in BASIC. I got so proficient at this is not a lie. I would program entire sports simulations in BASIC. And what it would do, I would take this for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Milwaukee Brewers. I'd have it program and simulate seasons in BASIC, and I got so proficient at BASIC. I'm not lying here. The state of Wisconsin hired me to program a job searching and interview program that people could basically, a simulation. People could answer questions. It was like you walk into a job interview, this, that, or the other thing, and it would kind of calculate a score, tell you whether you got hired. The state of Wisconsin kept that in their system for 10 years. I was 16 when I wrote it. No bullshit. That's no fake mercenary stuff.
That's a name I have not heard in a long time.
But when I went on to college, I got into Fortran. And honestly, I would not be here without programming because I started my own business in 1999, and I was messing around with HTML and CSS and website design and I still do coding to this day, just minor coding. But that's what got me into websites, starting my own website, tinkering around with that stuff. And it helped me get into the industry as a meathead. So a slide rule, yeah. I was a machinist as well for a couple of years. So I have a whole set of machinist tools. Robert, you ever done any machining?
Just with in mechanical engineering in the curriculum, one of our projects, we had to take a machine shop class. And so we did stuff with a lathe. We built little bits and things like that, and we did all kinds of stuff with that, and the drill press and stuff. It was fun. And then my senior project for mechanical engineering, we built a hurricane tower. So like you get to pick all these different projects, and you have to do one of these, and it's basically your whole senior year is devoted to this. So they had people that would design like a little go-kart thing. They had people that did other stuff. We built a freaking, oh shit, how tall was it? 35-foot, and we welded this, we cut it, did all this stuff. 35-foot weather tower. We built this bitch to withstand a Cat 5 hurricane. And then 2 years after I graduated LSU, they actually took it down, put it down like near the Gulf of Mexico when a big storm was rolling in, and tested the sucker on there, and it withstood everything. So yeah, that was my senior design project at LSU, was a hurricane tower that measured like barometric pressure, wind velocity, temperature gauges, all of this kind of stuff. It was awesome. As far as a slide rule, I used my dad's slide rule. I know how to use it. I don't personally use one, but I've used my dad's, and he had a book, the Shawm's Book of Learning on how to program with Fortran, because he was using that language when he was in college. Yeah.
If you want to know how much of a nerd I am, I'm going to be completely honest. In 6th grade, I went home one weekend and I decided to do the whole math book over the course of a weekend just to see if I could. In high school, I would check out physics books and read them for fun. I would also spend my lunch hours multiplying matrices because I found them particularly interesting. That was my social life. I wasn't at the parties. I wasn't doing any of the crazy fun stuff. I was sitting at home on the weekend trying to understand the probability and statistics behind baseball simulations and multiplication of matrices and stuff like that.
Yeah, my parents had a set of encyclopedias, and I would read that. Like that's what I'd like to. I'd flip through my dad's old college calculus textbooks and stuff. I always loved learning. Or if we finished something early at school, I would go and ask the teacher for more. I was that kid. I was that nerdy kid that always did those kind of things. And
this was the late 70s, early 80s. Our fun would be like if your buddy accidentally found a girly magazine that his dad left out, they would steal it and share it with the guys. Or when HBO and Showtime hit somewhere in the early 80s, you get the little guide, like the HBO and Showtime guide.
Mm-hmm.
And the movies were, their list of time the movies were on, but you'd search through the guide as like a 14-year-old boy to find something that said nudity in the movie. And then you'd have to watch the whole fucking movie, and they're like, oh, it was just some dude's butt. Oh man, how disappointing. All right, Nate, you skipped my question. We did not, Nate, and we refer to this every week on YouTube. Number one, if the question's too long, YouTube sometimes clips it. Number two, YouTube just sometimes doesn't show the questions. So just continue to post them. This happens every week to somebody. It's not us at all. We're never skipping your questions. We read every question. But if we happen to miss any of your guys' questions, it's not personal. Just head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, slide in my DM, or the Supplement Engineer, or you can email me, benthebarman@gmail.com. Adam Price, where you try to get your plus ones, first set, last set, all sets. Adam, this is a good question, and we dove into this a while back. I like to do it on the last set because it keeps volume regular. So what I mean is, like, if you progress, what happens if you do it on your first set is that you run into potential to make every set max reps. Here's what I mean. Let's say you're doing it on the last set, and there's no magic way, okay? Understand that. It's just preference. But let's say you're doing bench 8 or bench press 8-8 and then max reps on last set. So you get your 8 in, that's going to be 8. You get your 8 in, that's going to be 8. And your last set, you might get 11. And you move up 5 pounds. And if you fail the next week, or if you fall short the next week, 99% of the time, it's just going to be on the last set. You'll drop a couple reps. So you're still keeping your volume pretty regulated, and you're only keeping one set each exercise closer to failure, not to failure. because I don't encourage training to failure. If you do it on the first set and you spank it to 12, like on the first set, you're fresh. You might hit 15. And then on the second set, you're like 6 reps in, you realize, bonk, stop the set, close to failure. Third set, 5 reps, bonk, close to failure. So is either one wrong? No. My rep goal system is based on making every set count. And there's a time and a place for that, not on every exercise. There's no right or wrong way. I think there's more value in doing it on the last set. But at the end of the day, if somebody's maximizing 1 set out of 3 out of every workout, they're going to make amazing progress. So anything to add to that, Robert?
No, I mean, it does matter. It's exercise specific. Personal preference also plays a role in it too. How do you enjoy training? Do you want to kind of push it? And you sometimes, let's say you're going with a new exercise and you're trying to figure out, like, let's take pull-ups, for instance. You've never done pull-ups. You're not sure what to go for. Should you do like the 8-8-5 thing like Steve was saying, or like max set? Or you can kind of do this backfilling strategy where you go for the first set, you max out and get as many reps as you can. You don't have to go to absolute failure, but get to that grinder rep. So let's say you get 11 reps on the first set. Third set, you get 9. Second set, you get 9. Third set, you get 8. The next week, keep that first set the same at 11. Then try to add a rep to that final set. Keep the first and second sets the same. Add a rep to that third set. And then once you get all things, once you get everything up to 11, once you get that third set up to 11, then you start trying to add reps to that middle set. So then once you get 11, 11, 11, then you start all the way over and try to max out your first set again. And then you keep going backwards and, progressing. You can do it that way. You can do it Steve's way, where you just go and you do the last set. Once you get plus, however many reps past that goal that you set, then you add weight. There's a million ways to skin the cat. Just find which way keeps you motivated to keep training hard in the gym and which ones you seem to respond best to for that exercise.
There's a big reason why I like the last set, because the last set doesn't lie. When you are already knee deep into an exercise, you can't fake the third set. You can't, and it requires mental strength to push on the third set.
Yep.
You can go in and crush that first set when you're fresh and then fake the funk on the next 2. But you can't fake or reverse engineer or fudge progress on the third set. It's earned 100%. In the long run, it's going to come down to the lifter, but I'd rather hit you when you're fatigued and build that mental strength than to hit you when you're fresh. With that said, on my rest pause training, the first set's the one that's the limiter or the guideline.
Yeah.
So, it all depends on the system and the approach, really. But I don't really care. What I'm more concerned about is someone that says, I hit 12 reps on the first set last week, but I'm going to hold steady this week because, I'm going to hold steady this week because blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear it. Move up. Move up when the program says move up. If you do that, you're going to get to where you want to go. It's the guys who are like making all the bullshit excuses. I figured I'd just hold steady this week and let my body acclimate. And then next week, like, shut the fuck up. Like, literally, it's a bullshit excuse. I'm 174 to 177, an age 19 female. My max squat is 335. Is that decent enough to start powerlifting? I would love to coach you because I've coached a handful of women that have had 275 to 350 squats. And is that decent enough? Come on. Most men never get there.
Yeah.
You're somebody that is like born to run. You're somebody I want to coach because you're doing what most grown men won't do. Right? You don't have that fear of numbers. You're just going in there and crushing weight. So, Miss Asha Hopkins, if you want to coach, I would love to coach you because you have what it takes. That's more than enough to start powerlifting. You're well beyond that. You're like, how far do you want to go in powerlifting? You just need a good coach. Rico Santana, building big legs with no machines. So frustrating. Just barbells and dumbbells. Gym doesn't have machine. You kind of gotta get creative at times. Supersets. You can pre-fatigue with lunges before squats. You can do lunges and box jumps, Bulgarian split squats. Man, there's so many ways to slice and dice. When you got a barbell, though, you can do 20 rep squats. For a client this week, I recommended 15 rep squats followed by 25 lunges each leg superset. I mean, Merry Christmas. You can destroy your legs with just that information, with just that equipment. How about the old-fashioned Robert Sissy squat that nobody does?
I like it. I like doing them with my sissy squat machine more than regular sissy squats. But yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, you don't need any machines to build decent legs, Rico. You got everything there. Front squats, back squats, Bulgarian split squats, front walking lunges, reverse lunges, sliding leg curls, RDLs, split squats. Yeah, you've got more than enough stuff. You do those 5 or 6 exercises, rotate them, get strong on them, you're set. That's it. Game, set, match.
Game, set, match. You can do a lot of stuff. I have a book over at my website, and it was free for a long time. Is it still free? I can't remember. I had like 10,000 people download it. I'm not even kidding. During the pandemic, I did a free gym PDF or home gym. And after like a year, I moved it up to $9.99 after a year. After people stopped downloading it for free. So that's over there. But if you want, I'd be happy to send it to you for free. But what we just gave you is good enough. Giannis, my questions won't come through for some reason. Again, we have no control over that. That's YouTube. Try shortening the question because that's usually one way to. My parents got vaccinated and got into an argument with me because I didn't sign up. They eventually gave up. Strong immune system and died all the way. Yeah, I mean, it's your body. And at the end of the day, you should be able to decide, just as somebody that's high risk and immunocompromised can decide who they want to be around, you can also decide whether you want to take the vaccine, whether it's worth it to you, or whether you want to run into the woods and hide from humanity for the rest of your life because they've all gone insane and morphed into socialists during a pandemic. Pork meat, do you guys have to have a go-to joke that always works? I'm not a joke guy. Like, I'm the guy that, like, when somebody says, hey, I got a joke for you, I would rather cheap shot him, like punch him, and then run before he can see where I went. I don't like to hear jokes. No. It's not that I don't have a sense of humor. It's like usually the guy telling the joke is like, oh, here we go. Right?
Yeah.
Robert, do you have a go-to joke?
I mean, there's a couple, but I'm not like, I don't walk up in a room and say, hey, I got a really funny joke for you. No, it's not like that. It's Sandy's dad has a couple of funny stories that he'll tell. More like mine are more of like off the cuff remarks. Like, I'm sarcastic and witty and with those kind of things. I don't tell a lot of like straight form jokes. It's more if somebody will say something and then I'll make a smart ass comment off of that seems poignant. Yeah, I don't do much for just storytelling jokes. I much prefer the witty repartee.
People don't like sarcasm much anymore.
Well, they can go fuck off for all I care.
I'm a sarcastic son of a bitch.
Yeah, I can thank my parents for that. I grew up in a very sarcastic household, and that's the way it works.
Yeah, I'm more the guy on the street corner that tells people to get lost. Like I'm kind of in a meth corridor where there's a meth house like 2 blocks down. I live downtown, so I'm in a good area, but there's a meth house. And I have an alleyway that runs through the city, and it runs by my property. And occasionally you'll get like wacky-eyed meth addicts coming up to you and like, hey, buddy, you got $5 for a cup of coffee? Yesterday I had somebody do that to me when I was loading groceries in the car, and I said, go fuck off. Get that shit out of here. That's the type of guy I am in real life. Like, if you're going to invade my space, you better come with some good reason, because I don't need your bullshit.
Yeah.
If you want $5, go fucking get a job. It's not like you can't find a job in this environment. All right. Hi, cute ones. Must be looking behind Robert. Nobody's there, Robert. Would you agree? Too much vaccine talk and not enough vitamins. Absolutely, man.
Losing weight, staying physically active.
The average person in America gained 30 pounds during the past year.
And an overweight nation already got even more overweight. Wonderful.
10% of the population gained 50 pounds or more. Wrap your head around that. 10%. But, the pandemic aside, because I don't like to interweave obesity in the pandemic, but there needs to be, unless there's some incentives, people will not respond. So if you're contributing to lower healthcare costs to the system, then you should be given a tax break. That's all I'm saying. So, there's ways to do it. My messages won't come through. They are coming through. I'm sorry. Can a supplement company have its supplements be FDA approved? Very good question. I don't think we've ever had
supplements are not. They're not. Supplements can use ingredients that are approved by the FDA, but supplement companies do not submit bottles to the FDA. There's not enough people at the FDA to even see this process through. You can get your supplements manufactured in an FDA inspected and registered approved facility, which is what Steve and I do, and a bunch of the other companies I consult for do. If the company that you're buying products from is not using a FDA improved inspected facility or CGMP, they're not following good manufacturing practices, stop using that company's supplements right now. God knows what's in those products.
Yeah, God knows. There are actually, you can actually make products in your basement. And I remember when I first got in the industry, I know people are making products in their basement. So
yeah, it's easy. You buy a blender, you throw the tub on there and the sealer, you can do capsules and everything. Yeah, they got home brew capsule machines and everything.
Yep, not that hard to find.
Nope.
Put a little white flour in there and package it as whatever, and you got yourself some.
The next great anabolic.
All right, Stein, Massive Iron Insider is awesome.
Thank you.
I wish more people would take advantage of it, because I opened that door so people could have one-on-one access. And 70-80%, like my regular clients, they'll send form videos every day, which is cool. That's what I like to do. I like to help people. But the insiders, once a week I'll message them, hey, how's training going? And I just wish more used it. Let's see. Nate McNasty. Robert, can you say McNasty?
McNasty.
My left hip rotates underneath while my right hip maintains tension. My left releases no matter the amount of stretching. I cannot fix my imbalance. Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor.
Go see a physical therapist. I have no idea even where to begin with this. This is not the avenue to ask these questions.
Yeah, we appreciate you watching, Nate, and we just would encourage you to thanks for your support, but that's well out of my lane. And I only stay in my lane. I know nothing about any of that.
Yeah,
so
I don't even understand, like, how is this biomechanically possible?
If you ask like the average YouTube celery this question, they'll be like, well, here we go. Like, no, I'm not going to answer questions I know nothing about. I'm not going to be one of these shithead smucks that pretends like he knows everything just because he has a YouTube channel. My messages won't go through if I message Slingshot and Bench.
Mark Bell is watching us.
No, Giannis, you just did. It's probably the length of the message. Your short messages are coming through. For some reason, my questions don't go through. They are going through. Instead of posting questions, Giannis, I'm not being a smartass, but instead of posting questions about your messages not going through, keep posting the message about the question. We'll get it to go through. Bart, for the late intermediate lifter, would you say periodization is not needed? If you have a lot of strength, periodization to keep your joints healthy and to stave off injury is probably worth considering. Not necessarily periodization, but what I mean is taking a deload week every 4th week or every 6th week. If I had to do it all over again, that's what I would recommend. And in future books, that's what I will recommend. Because when you're a late intermediate lifter and you have a lot of strength, I was a late intermediate lifter 25 years ago, and I never did any of this. And I wish I would have. It's not that I'm beat up. It's just that it will help prolong. So is pushing sets doing a well-rounded program and taking a deload when you need to enough? Yeah. I mean, intuitive training, taking deloads when you feel like you need them, taking a day off when you feel like you need it. That's one of the most valuable things you can do in the gym. BKS, if I become an insider today, does the membership end once this month ends? No, it's ongoing. So it's $24.99 a month, but you don't have to stay on. You can come on, get form help, get program help, get diet help, and jump ship. Absolutely. No requirement to stay past a month. Should you use mind-muscle connection on compound movements? No. No, you should not. I'm not a proponent of using mind-muscle connection on compound movements because what we are trying to do is we are trying to turn a compound movement into an isolation movement. And I do not like that for heavyweight. I want you to get in, move your compounds with a focus on form, not mind-muscle connection. Let the compound movement work where it's going to work. And then when you take a step down in intensity and do your machines or isolations or cables or body weights where it's okay, then it's okay to focus more on mind-muscle connection. But any compound movement, heavy compound movement, should be focused on form and not isolating. This is a problem with the bodybuilding industry. They'll try to turn a compound movement into an isolation movement. And then when they go to dumbbell flies, they'll turn an isolation movement into a compound movement. What do I mean? They're doing dumbbell flies with 70 pounds, and it's really just a weird, ganky dumbbell press. Right, Robert?
Yeah, it turns into like the super wide kind of like fly press kind of action. It's really weird.
Yeah, we lost your voice a little bit. You sound like you crawled into a tunnel.
It's not coming through clearly?
It's coming through. You just sound like you're in a tunnel.
I'll go back to the earphones.
Oh, we don't care if you wear earphones. The mic
Well, there's a little microphone on this doodad, so that might make it sound clear.
It sounds a lot better.
There we go.
For some reason, my question doesn't come through. Now it does. I didn't even see I didn't see your question. Friday evening. Sorry, man. I'm not trying to bust your balls, but I don't see your question. Friday evening here in the UK, enjoying Massive Iron Live. Thank you. We appreciate your support. Your thoughts on fish oil over the age of 50? Yes.
Agreed. Yeah, especially if you don't eat fatty fish a couple of times a week. As we get older, people tend to live in a more chronically inflamed state, just lifestyle factors, aging, things like that. So yeah, a couple of grams of fish oil each day of a high EPA, DHA content. Nordic Naturals is a great brand.
Nordic Naturals, for those of you keeping score at home. One day, Massive Iron will have a brand, and it'll be better than Nordic Naturals, and they can go fuck off, Robert. That's humor, folks.
There we go.
Anybody remember humor in 2021? I don't know.
No.
Sole, cod, haddock, salmon are all on the regular schedule, all fish in Canada. Great that you can get some local fish. I need to up my whitefish game, but quite honestly, between salmon, between steelhead trout, between shrimp, between the seafood choices I do like, it's hard to squeeze in. I'm not really drawn to try. I'd love to learn how to cook whitefish better. Redcon runs a lot of BOGOs or 50% on whey. You know, that's dangerous territory. I'm not outside of their product quality. As a brand, that's how to devalue your brand. People will wait for the BOGOs instead of paying full price, and then they stop buying your products. And then all of a sudden, boop. Bodybuilding.com is the killer of brands for that reason, because it'll do that stuff to your product. It'll take the margin out, and then they're making the money. It's like people that want their products in Walmart. It's going to devalue your brand. You're better off staying small, collecting a bigger percentage of the profit. How are Redcon supplements, Robert, in general?
They're selling in such huge volumes now. I mean, protein, the margin on protein is so thin. When I see BOGOs on proteins a lot, I mean, they've got to be moving a ton of volume, and I know they are because they're everywhere now. They're in HEB here in Texas. They're in Dick's Sporting Goods. I think they're getting into Walmart. I don't know if they're in there yet, but I know they're trying to get in there. They're everywhere. They're decent enough products. Are they, breaking they're breaking records from sales. The formulas are decent. Are they the most innovative? Possibly not, but they're doing the volume play and they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars doing it. So they're a highly successful company. Do they have the best tasting stuff, the best formulated stuff? I don't know about that.
I will say I went over to Nick's Strength and Power for the first time in like 2 years to see how his channel was doing, and he's still doing the Redcon promotion. Nick is somebody that attended the Sit Food for Six here locally in this town at a gym a mile away from me. He's a local guy, and I had dinner with him and Alan Roberts, and a month later he unfriended me off social media. And I will tell you, I'm not being bitter, but you get guys like that in this industry. And it's always a mystery to me.
Weird.
Like we talk about integrity and honesty, like Big J did the same thing. Big J meets you. Big J is one of the, you can quote me on this and you can tell him to shove it up his ass. Big J is one of the phoniest fuckers in this industry. That's my opinion. You meet him and he's like, oh, well, you're the best and ever. And me and my wife took him out to eat, and he'll suck up to you in person. Like that's just his nature. And then a week later, he'll unfollow you on social media. I don't like Big J. But there's guys like that in this industry. They'll look all in integrity, and I've met them. I've met everybody. They've all been in my office, so I'm not just making this shit up. And I'm not generally a guy to hate people, but there's people like that. And it's like, dude, 1 minute we're sitting there eating dinner together, and next week you're like, I don't ever want to see this guy again. Because like, how Instagram is and social media is, Robert. Like, you ever see these guys that have 80,000 followers and they follow like one person, and it's like Jesus or Dwayne The Rock Johnson? I mean, that's the way it is for some people.
Yeah.
It's appearance. And I never played that game. I got 18,000 followers on Instagram. I'm just a small fish. But when I see a lifter follow me, or when somebody asks a question or leaves a comment on my social media, I follow them back.
Yeah.
And everybody that leaves a question on my Instagram, I try to follow them back. So I'm not Jesus, but I'm just cut from a different cloth. Anyway, I love steelhead trout. How can you go wrong? This is a good question. Are desiccated liver tablets a viable option protein powder?
No, two different things. Liver tablets are going to be for micronutrients. Protein powders for protein.
So what do you think of desiccated liver? Back in the day, even when in the 70s, when I started lifting, they were big in the muscle magazines. And Robert, they still exist, but nobody talks about them. Do they have any value?
Yeah, I think they have, especially if you get like the liver caps that are coming out. I know they've started to kind of really get a resurgence as of late with like the carnivore diet and things like that. So desiccated liver, calves, desiccated organs, and stuff like that are a bounty of micronutrients, essential vitamins, minerals, things like that, and even the trace minerals. They have a benefit there if you don't get them enough in your diet, or you're not taking a multivitamin or something like that. But is it something that can replace a protein powder or replace a dietary source of protein like a piece of chicken breast or beef or fish or something? No, two different things.
Thanks, Robert. And good question. And reminder, Robert has to pick the best question of the day. They win a Massive Iron t-shirt. And if you guys think anybody deserves it, let us know. If you think you deserve it, go ahead and lobby. Never needed motivation. Times I didn't want to go to the gym, but didn't end up being some of the best workout sessions. Yeah, I mean, I've made videos about this before. How you feel is a lie. Like how you feel, like I feel tired, I feel unmotivated. That will have very little impact on your actual performance. And that's one thing you learn as you mature. Don't rely on motivation, rely on discipline. Yes. Focus on discipline. Senorita. Hey, guys. Hey, thanks for joining. What's up, guys? What's going on, Harut? Greg, I was joking with you guys about the blue Raz. I'm glad we caught that one because I thought you were losing your cuckoo clock there for a moment. Tony Davis, if you go to the Athlete X site, they list all ingredients and give you a full explanation on the ingredients. Makes it easy to review. I would love to comb through big supplement lines like that because, Robert, what I find interesting is big name guys, celebrities that have their own lines. And I've reached out to a couple of them and said, hey, you're a good guy and Robert's a good guy. And you might want to consider consulting with Robert, paying the consultation fee with your supplement line so we can get it up to speed. And usually the response is, okay, thank you. Have a nice day. And I don't.
A lot of these guys are relying on the contract manufacturer to formulate their products for them. They're just slapping their own labels on it. It's part of the shtick.
Yeah, and I'm not being hard on these guys, but I was actually trying to help them. So, yeah. I'm always curious to look at products like Athlete X's and just be honest with them. How good are they?
Yeah, most sites these days, good supplement sites will have a breakdown, at least a minimal one, on what the ingredients are and what they should do. Not all of them list the exact dosages or like what the clinically effective dosages are, the therapeutic effects are. But decent quality ones will list to at least to a minor degree what the ingredient is and what it should do.
I'm actually surprised we never got a question about his pre-workout or whatever. I know he sells BCAAs, and I don't want to bust his balls because everybody sells BCAAs. So he's not like a unique lion in the jungle there. Pork meat. Robert, all you need to do is be a trillionaire is to write a cookbook and sell it for $500.
Coming soon. The Supplement Engineer's Guide to Salsa, Sauces, and all the finer things of life.
Yeah. Let's see. Heavy deadlifts, rows, shrugs, with straps. With. What's going to happen is you are going to end up. These will heavily contribute to elbow tendonitis. And again, one day science will catch up to the amazing knowledge and personal experience that the big, hairy, ugly dude has. But all that constant grip work over a long period of time contributes to elbow tendonitis. And nearly every serious, experienced lifter I know has elbow tendonitis. Don't worry about grip work. Wear VersaGrip. Just get VersaGrips. Straps are useless compared to VersaGrips. Mine are like 13 years old now, and I'm still using the same pair I bought for $50. If you want to do grip work or forearm work, do it afterwards. But don't at some point, your ability to hold a row or a deadlift or a shrug is going to be overshadowed by your strength. If not, you're not training hard enough. So don't let your grip limit your back or trap work.
Word.
Skittles flavor. How about flamin' jalapeno popper flavor?
Sounds good to me.
Robert, are there any supplements that have crossed over into the spicy realm, like the Scoville unit realm? There
is a powdered pre-fasted cardio, powdered fat burner, thermogenic, whatever you want to call it, that Steel Fit makes called, it's a spicy strawberry or strawberry margarita or something like that. It's got a spicy heat to it because it's got capsaicin and a few other things in it. A few brands have released something like jalapeno margarita or lime margarita. Most often, it's just like a super tart flavor, and there's a little bit of tingle because it's got capsaicin and a red pepper extract in it. But there's nothing like a flaming hot Cheeto flavor or something like that.
So, Robert, if you took like ghost pepper extract prior to a workout, would you not agree that it would be a good stimulant? And
I mean, yeah, they had a study a couple of years ago that showed that capsaicin taken right before training increased squat and bench performance in resistance trained athletes. So I mean, there is some effect to that just because capsaicin and those alkaloids stimulate the TRPV1 receptors in the mouth and in the GI tract, and that has some downstream dopamine effects. So, and noradrenaline, epinephrine, all those good, happy, fun, feeling good chemicals.
If you are someone that goes out to the bars and trying to find Miss Right Now, if that's your thing, it might not be a bad idea to keep like ghost pepper extract right next to the condom, because you could pop that and all of a sudden, like, she'll think it's the wildest sex she's having, like stuff coming out of your nose, your lips are numb and slobber knockering, and you're like, holy cow, you're just yelling random shit, and your facial expressions are going crazy.
I don't even want to see what's in your nightstand next to your bed, Steve. After that story, I don't even want to see what's in your nightstand.
Oh, it's probably got to be the worst joke I've ever made, Robert. All right.
Oh, you got bed weirdos. We got capsaicin-laced condoms. We got everything. Oh, my God.
Once you get 2 hours in, anything can happen, Robert. Can I get in on leg day? Can I go in on leg day, do 3 sets of low bar for strength reasons? Low bar is not specifically a strength. Let's get this straight. Low bar or high bar is not specifically for strength. The idea that because certain strength coaches like low bar doesn't make it a strength exercise. Low bar or high bar has to be set up according to your body type, your structure, your limb lengths and whatnot. So the idea that you can do low bar, high bar, the best thing for you is to find a squat variation that works for your body type, and then to add in hack squats, sissy squats, leg extensions, leg curls, and the whole 9 yards. That's the best. That's the best. But I would never personally advocate doing high and low bar. Just find the one that works for you. Squats are an intense exercise, and you want to avoid injury, and you want to work on good form, and you want to find the variation that works for you and ride it. So, any thoughts on that, Robert?
Nope. You said everything I would have said.
Love the fact that you guys are so honest. Thank you, Wade. I think sometimes we're honest to a fault where our inner dork shines out too much. Shines through.
That's why people love us.
Yeah. I just like talking lifting. It's such a gift to do this for a living.
Yep.
It really is. So I appreciate everybody's support. Just started building my home gym, so no squat and power rack yet. Just a bench with pegs to rest the barbell. Is it possible to go heavy? Yeah, it is. I mean, number one, when you're training at a home gym, you always need to have an escape plan. If you fail on a squat, what am I going to do? If you fail on a bench rep, what am I going to do? And people will say, well, I'm not training to failure, and that's never going to happen. It'll happen when you least expect it. Something will go wrong. Your pec might twitch. You might get a sharp pain in your elbow. Something's going to happen. So number one, have an escape route. Number two, I would highly encourage you to find a bench stands. Okay. What are they called? What's their official name? Before you get a squat rack, there's things that you can get to, like the little things to put on the side. You know what I'm talking about, Robert? Bench spotter stands, they're called.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Bench press spotter stands. These are $84. And I'm pretty sure you can get them cheaper. If you can't get them, you can get sawhorses, but sawhorses are probably no, these days they're so fancy, they're probably just as expensive. But I would sell whatever you can in your home on eBay and to get the money for these before you do a rack. Because once you get the rack, you can still use these, on bench. And having these at a home gym are invaluable. I do not have them currently, so I bench in my squat rack. But having these are an invaluable tool. All right. Charmaine, Anna O.P. Charmaine, Anna Oop reacting to our radios, and you need to see it.
Agreed.
This looks like a spam, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to block you, and you take your radio and shove it right up your asshole. All right, what do we got here? Hey, if you guys are into old school pro wrestling, then have either of you checked out the Dark Side of the Ring documentary series? No, that sounds good.
Cool.
Is that on Netflix? Dark
Netflix,
Side of
Hulu, Amazon, any of the above?
We just watched a documentary on Andre the Giant, so that was pretty interesting. Ab training, yay or nay? Robert, go.
Yeah, if you have time for it. I mean, compound lifts are going to work them, absolutely. But including some additional ab work, sure. Why not make every muscle as strong as humanly possible?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the argument, do I need direct arm work? Without it, there's going to be some weakness, and weakness is never a good thing. Do you need the conventional ab work? Like, let's do 1,000 floor crunches and sit-ups? No.
Yeah.
I advise starting with a plank and an ab wheel roller and getting really good at that. And planks don't have to be boring. Just you can do shoulder tap planks. I have my clients do that because then you can count the reps. If you don't want to do shoulder tap planks, get a video of yourself doing tapping yourself in the head planks on YouTube because no one does that, right? But yeah, I mean, you want to build up some core stability. It's good for your lower back as well.
Yeah, hanging leg raises. There's a ton of different advanced plank variations you can get into. You can do Russian twists, reverse crunches. I mean, there's so many great ab exercises.
That was actually Robert's finishing move when he was in wrestling, the Russian twist.
Exactly.
With a little splash of cinnamon at the end. I would love the book. Thank you. Yeah, just email me, rico@benthebarman@gmail.com. I have a go-to joke. It's a vegetable joke, but it's very corny. All right, thank you. I can bodyweight squat 480 now when I lose weight, and will I still be able to squat that? It's kind of like that and kind of not like that. Like when I was bigger, I could squat the world. And when I lost weight, it's harder. So you probably it's going to be harder to get under 135 when you have girth. And I don't mean that in an offensive way, but for me, it's harder still now to get under a barbell. But I would try to get under it with 135 and just practice squats with 135 and get really comfortable with them and have me look at form if you can get under the bar.
Yeah, and plus the back squat, that's a specific type of strength. Like that's a specific movement, and you're getting stronger in that movement pattern. The mechanics of a bodyweight squat are a little bit different than squatting with a bar on your back. Plus, as you continue to lose weight, your range of motion is going to increase too. So that's something else that you're going to have to consider with the amount of weights that you're going to be moving.
All right, Roberto, I'm from Montana, and Texas sounds like a scary place.
What's scary about Texas? Behind Florida, we're the most open state, aside from the blue-haired hippie fucktard spot of Austin.
What about Austin? Are there places in Houston and Dallas that are like Austin, very progressive?
If you want to call it that, totalitarian.
Okay.
We can call it that. There's nothing progressive about the way they're treating things. With the way that there's nothing progressive about that. It's controlling. But no, Texas is awesome. There's wonderful breweries, distilleries, lots of open air to go do outdoor activities in the non-blue-haired hippie segments of the state.
So that, like, Wisconsin has this whole upper half of the state where there's nothing but trees and no people. Texas, is immensely bigger than that. What's out there in the west side of Texas? Is it just big ranches or just open?
Lots of big ranches, lots of desert, lots of dry open air spaces. Like you'll drive for hours and not see anything.
I can't imagine that. It's kind of like North Dakota. Put the stick on the wheel and go straight ahead through the whole state.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's a lot of hiking trails out in West Texas.
Oh, like the western half of the state, I imagine not. But I mean, there's a bunch of great hiking stuff around us.
All right, if a beginner trained like an advanced, will he have trouble progressing? A beginner can't train like an advanced, Samuel, and here's why. An advanced lifter has a program that's been completely evolved to fit them. So sometimes when you see an advanced lifter on the YouTubes, you're like, what is he doing that exercise for? What is he doing that variation for? An advanced lifter is like someone that's been thrown out of a moving car 20 times. Their body is beat up a little bit. They know what to avoid. They know what to not avoid for their body type. And everything they do to rep ranges, whatever, is completely personalized. The idea that an advanced lifter does somehow West Side and not their own program, that's a fairy tale created by social media and YouTube. So, like, using stuff like low rep sets, for example, which would be more of an advanced technique when you advance strength, that's not a good idea. You got to build up a muscle and strength base. You got to work on your form. And doing low rep sets, really, doing low rep sets before you built up a lot of strength isn't going to have a lot of benefit. You're not going to get a lot of time under the bar. Not going to be able to work on form. It really depends on the technique, though. So, but if a beginner goes out and says, I'm going to do West Side or I'm going to do small off, like, you might as well just jump off a cliff because your squat form isn't ready for it. Your body's not ready for it. And, when you do these types of programs, when you have experience, you know how to make adjustments, and adjustments are everything. So when it comes to an advanced training technique, if you don't know how to make adjustments, you're just setting yourself up for failure. I guess it would be like gymnastics, Robert. I mean, if you try to do an advanced gymnastics move and you don't have a basic understanding of, how to do a handstand or something.
Correct. Yeah.
Fresh air, fresh food, and physically active lifestyle. 3 pillars of health.
Yep.
More people need to focus. Yes, they do. And number 1 and number 2 and number 3, equally important.
Number 4, get enough sleep.
And number 5, sex.
That too. Well, does that fall under physically active lifestyle?
Depends on how
vigorous
you are attentive to your partner's needs, I would imagine. You ever meet one of these guys like, yeah, I'm great at sex? Like, I wonder what she says, dude. Just because you can have an orgasm doesn't mean you're great at sex.
We're getting off the rails the deeper in this podcast we go.
Is that in the app? That's like some blow up bug. Samuel Lee, you just won yourself a t-shirt. I'm going to give Samuel Lee the t-shirt. I'm taking the power away from you, Robert. So Samuel, if you email me at benthebarman@gmail.com with your shirt size, address, and phone number for tracking, I will send you a massive iron t-shirt just because that blow up, that looks like a Halloween costume where you put your feet in the legs of the bug and you walk around.
Could be.
Yeah. Do arm days need to begin with a heavy compound? No, not necessarily. It depends on the structure. You could start with concentration curls, and then when you're done, you could do cheek curls at the end. It just depends. You just have to adjust appropriately and not do anything stupid to get hurt. Should someone on a bulk eat at maintenance during rest days? No.
No.
Any controversy to this is by somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. Like somehow you're going to magically unlock a way to maintain the same weight and not gain weight and gain muscle, and you're recovering on off days. Robert?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's it. I think this is born a lot out of the lean, main gaining, gaintaining mindset, where if I'm only in a hypercaloric state on training days, then I won't gain any fat. Everything will go 100% to muscle. That's not how the body works. Every time it adds muscle, it's going to add a little bit of fat. The more excessive you get with your calorie surplus, the more fat you're going to accrue as you build muscle tissue. So even on the leanest bulk, your body's still going to be putting on tiny, tiny little bits of body fat, just because that's how the human body works. And the longer that you're in the muscle building venture, then the ratio of how much fat to how much muscle you put on starts to dwindle. It starts to become less favorable, to where it's like a 1-to-1 ratio. But no, your body is recovering in and out of the gym. So especially on the non-training days, you definitely need to make sure you're eating and providing your body with enough nutrients to support the recovery and growth efforts.
Thanks, Robert. Is that UV shred? Sir? Can I use steroids, sir? Sir?
There we go.
Sorry, you're blocked. If I could only use one supplement, which would you choose? Vitamin D.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Creatine, vitamin D.
Vitamin D, creatine.
Fish oil.
Actually, no. If you could only use one supplement, there you go.
Yeah. I call those non-questions, Daniel, and not to be dismissive, but like when people go, if I only had one exercise, like we don't. That's not the world we live in. So, which one I wouldn't, because that's not the advice I would give. Then I'm not being dismissive, but if somebody asks me, when somebody asks me in DM, if I only could do one exercise for back, what would I do? And I'm like, don't do one exercise for back, because that's a non-question. Even if you're in prison and in a wheelchair, you can find 2 exercises to do for back. I don't know, that scenario is ridiculous, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
How often does Robert watch Brokeback?
Oh my goodness! Well, since Steve gave me the power, that was in the second running. It was that and the 4-train question were the 2 questions I was debating between for giving the T-shirt to. But Steve screwed the pooch already. So I've actually never seen that movie. I know Sandy has seen it, but I have no interest in really watching that movie. So yeah.
When did it come out? I mean,
mid-2000s.
I believe I was somewhere on planet Earth where
like 03, 05, something like that.
2005. I was knee deep at the time in
knee deep in something. I'm sure you were.
Yeah, getting my website fired up. So, what do we got here? Rico, lion's mane, 8-to-1 mushroom extract. Any thoughts?
I'm a huge fan of lion's mane. Do you need to go for the exact 8-to-1 mushroom extract? No, not necessarily. You just buy the giant tub of Nutricost lion's mane fruiting body powder. Take 1 to 2 grams of that a day, or upwards of 3 grams a day, and you're great. Lion's mane is one of my favorite nootropics. I take it every day. Great for increasing nerve growth factor in the brain. It's shown to have some long-term cognitive health benefits, help combat Alzheimer's in rodent studies. Very safe profile. It's got some anti-anxiety, antidepressive benefits as well. Yes, use it. Take it. Nutricost giant tub lion's mane fruiting body powder. Amazon. Super cheap. Not super cheap, but well priced. Very affordable.
So, sorry, I'm responding to one of the viewers on Instagram. when you have this lion's mane, Robert, is it something that's usually a standalone ingredient?
Yeah, you can sell it standalone. You'll see it's starting to pop up more in the pre-workouts. Like there's this huge kick for lion's mane in pre-workouts. Most of its benefits are from constant, like daily intake. Anecdotally, when I take a big enough dose of lion's mane, I kind of get like a neural charging, neural awakening effect that kind of goes on. It's probably the ramping up of the nerve growth factor, which is a peptide in the brain that's responsible for the growth, development, and maintenance of neurons, and it also supports the myelin sheath, which is kind of like the insulation that wraps around the transmission between the two neurons, so it facilitates more efficient communication, so you get a little bit quicker signaling and firing in that. And then we're going to do a cheat plug here. So there's 1,000 milligrams of that in Apollin's Hooligan pre-workout, which I had a hand in. There's a nice heaping dose of lion's mane in that too. Wait, I think it's in this one. Is it one? Yeah, there's a gram of lion's mane in here. There's a gram in the stim-free one too, bare knuckle. So yes, I love the ingredient. Does it have much actual performance benefits from like an athletic performance standpoint? No, it's got more nootropic benefits. So whenever we release Massive Iron Nootropic, lion's mane will be in that. It's not going to be in the pre-workout, but it will be in the nootropic.
Well, I was just wondering if some of the lower end products we could get rolling. Like, how hard would it get rolling on some single ingredient stuff?
No, we could do a bulk powder. We could just do a bulk lion's mane. Or we could do a mushroom blend. Like we could put cordyceps, chaga, reishi, and lion's mane in there. Like a 4 or 5 mushroom blend would be really good.
Yeah, I was just trying to think offhand if there's any other things that we could pop really easy. That wouldn't have a lot of outlay, like vitamin D. And things people keep asking about. Because I mean the cost is going to be trivial. So
yeah,
we can talk about it. I don't know sure if we want to get into single ingredient stuff because, with us, we're not a big monster supplement company, and it's gonna be nickel and dime. Like people will like have one order a day.
Yeah,
which doesn't sound like much, but it's actually pretty good for a product like that.
Right.
For our size. All right. Best training advice for skinny teenagers looking to get massive. Follow the Massive Iron channel and listen to every video I've ever made in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And seriously, though, everything I talk about on this channel is right there for you. It is consistency in nutrition. It is consistency in training. It is the best possible exercise selection. That's what everything I'm about is about. So don't get fat too soon. Slow, steady weight gain over the next 3 to 4 years and get as strong as you can safely on every exercise.
Yeah.
Lemon lime flavor would be great.
I like the lemon lime flavor, but I mean we're gonna do some kind of riff on it if we did anything like that.
Can you do power shrugs on the seated hammer strength machine, or better off using Olympic bar? I like to do 2 shrug variations, and your main concern is getting good time under tension, and from there, do 2 variations. So I'd probably do them both. Get some good volume in. Bourbon flavor. Now we're talking, Stein.
My man.
Tour of Chinese cartoon cheeks. You almost won the free T-shirt, but I already gave it away.
A great alliterative avatar name.
Spicy food definitely induces the same sensation as the one you get right before hitting a PR in heavy squats. Yeah, I mean, forget all this, ammonia. I want to take some fucking ghost pepper extract before I. You ever seen the video of me at Tiger Fitness? Hold on.
Where you tore your hamstring? Yes. I mean.
Hold on. Male fat acceptance. Just hold on. There's a video where some guy at Tiger Fitness brought in some hot pepper thing, and he like said, "Try this." It's the Moruga Scorpion. Robert, can you look at the Moruga Scorpion pepper?
Moruga scorpion pepper.
The Trinidad Moruga Scorpion pepper. I believe it has 2,000 Scoville units. 2 million.
Is it higher than the Carolina Reaper?
You tell me.
Well, the thing I pulled up, the Moruga, it says a Scoville scale 1,200 average SHU. So, or I mean, 1.2 million is what it says.
Where's it compared to the hottest pepper?
Let's see, top 10 hottest peppers website, Pepperhead. Number 1 is the Carolina Reaper at 2.2 million.
Okay, so this is about half that.
Number 2 is, here we go. This one, the Trinidad Moruga Scorpion has 2,009,231.
Okay, so at Tiger Fitness, they brought in the Moruga Scorpion pepper, and they're like, try it. So I put, this is extract, straight extract. I put on one of those little oyster crackers. Ready? Moruga Scorpion pepper, 2 million Scoville units. A ghost pepper is 700,000. Here we go. 2 million Scoville units in there. Ain't nothing.
And you turned it off before you started crying profusely 10 seconds later.
That's the only clip I put on YouTube. That's it. I didn't put it on the end.
Is that the bed weirder music?
Nah, some video played automatically after it. It says you can grow Trinidad Moruga Scorpion chilies. That's a video that auto played. There's no need for grip work when using Versa grips. Grip work and forearm work and neck work are so overrated. Really, I mean, you got guys that can't even build a big bench trying to build a big neck. First, you got to kind of go the other way. How does lifting change for taller dudes? We made some good videos on this at Tiger Fitness, and it's not on my channel, but Tiger Fitness, a good friend of mine, Robert, a different Robert, who is a local sheriff, and he's like 6'4", top level power lifter. It's squatting for tall guys and deadlifting for tall guys, and I would check those out. Tiger Fitness website or Tiger Fitness YouTube. Coltrane, how often should I take a pre-workout with 320 milligrams of caffeine?
How many days are you training? I typically tend to rotate between my pre-workouts throughout the week, so I'm not using the same pre-workout every day, and I'm not training every day of the week anyway. Do you need the 325 milligrams of caffeine or 320 milligrams of caffeine when you train? Some days I just have a cup of coffee, and that's enough. I'll stack it with a non-stim pre-workout. Other days I'm taking a 400 milligram pre-workout. Other days it's like 250, or sometimes I'll take, a half a scoop of something to where if it's got 300, it might have, I might do 150 or 175. How often should you take it? I wouldn't do it every day just because you're going to end up developing some tolerance.
I'm calling for my wife for one of the questions. But where are we? There's Robert. Where'd we go?
I'm right here.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out, that we had somebody post questions. Do you have an electrolyte supplement you recommend? I'm trying to get my wife in here because we've taken a lot of them over the years. Robert, do you have anything you personally recommend? This is something we talked about a while back because I don't know if you recall, Robert, but a lot of the electrolyte supplements and powders that are in the lifting or in the running industry tend to make you sick. Like when I just have more salt, more sodium with a little bit of potassium, I never get sick. So, something's broken in these that you tend to just messing up your blood sugar, bloodstream.
Yeah, there might be too much magnesium in them, or they might be using really poor forms of the minerals. You want to look for something that has preferably the citrate form, so like potassium citrate, sodium citrate. The citrate acts as a buffer on the stomach and eases some of the digestive distress on there. And you don't want to be taking too much magnesium anyway. So something that's got like 400 milligrams of magnesium, you get much above that threshold, you're going to end up shitting your pants in mid training or something like that. So a few of the things you could look out for: electrolyte by Primeval Labs. You can do Hydro Surge from Jacked Factory, Hydro Charge from Cage Muscles fine. Most of these are just containing trace amounts of it. You're not getting any whopping amounts of sodium, potassium, magnesium, chloride, or phosphorus in them. It's a little in addition to. And a lot of BCAA supplements or amino acid supplements and some pre-workouts have electrolytes in them too. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So I brought on my lovely wife. We were talking electrolyte supplements and how so many of them during trail runs make us sick, especially her. She's like the vomiting queen. And a lot of it's electrolyte management. But what are some of the ones you've taken that don't make you sick?
None. It's true. I try different ones.
What about
different
the one
races.
we have up here in the?
I don't know what that's called.
Okay, well,
but that we didn't run real hard on that one. So it's when I run really hard and I try different ones and it's hotter, then I'll just spew for miles. And you just can't stop. Just can't stop.
Well, I was asking Robert, because we tend to get sick when we take them. There's got to be some imbalance, and he was talking about magnesium. But, I mean, honestly, what we found is Tiger Fitness is the only one I've taken, the MTS one. When I ran my first trail marathon, I used it the whole time and didn't get sick.
I got a little bit. I've had too much. I'm better just with water. And then I will have a packet of little chips, and I'm fine.
I don't know.
I don't need all this fancy crap.
Honestly, I haven't found an electrolyte supplement I like. Usually when we're doing activities, we just look for salt with something with a little potassium, and that seems to do better than any electrolyte supplement.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
You just want to talk about me spewing on the trail?
Yeah, it's time.
Fiona, we got one more question in the feed for you. It said, "Did you get a haircut?"
No.
There's one at the very bottom that says, "Did you get a haircut?"
No, my hair's always been like this.
She does it differently.
This short, and now I actually am growing it, but it will not be the length I want it till next Christmas. Well, you gotta be patient.
Now, I'm gonna grow my mullet while you're growing that.
Mine will grow quicker. No, so I always had short hair.
She thinks her hair will go quicker. Yeah. I shaved this morning.
You're such a liar.
All right. Thank you, baby. You can buy a great power rack from $299 from Grind Fitness. Yeah, there's I think the one over on Titan Fitness is only like $399. So you can find for $2 or $399.
I looked at that. I looked at Grind Fitness. You can buy a full power rack for $349. You can also buy a pair of 45s for $200. I'm thinking, how is it? Do you realize how much more steel is in a power rack than there is in a fucking pair of 45s?
Man, I went on Amazon to find 10-pound plates because back when I was stocking my gym at the time when the pandemic hit, all I could find was 7.5s.
Yeah,
I'm really sick of using 7.5s for dumbbell presses because you run out of room real quick. And I keep looking for 10s, right?
Yeah.
So finally yesterday I just said, whatever, I'm just going to get 4 10s, and it was like $100.
Yeah.
Things used to be just under $1 a pound for reference.
Yeah.
Go-to joke. Why did the hedgehog cross the road? He wanted to see his flatmate. Flat, like flats in the UK are apartments. Gray Rhino says, lobbying for the shirt. If you email me at Ben the Barman, I will send you one out, but you have to mention your name, the Gray Rhino, so we don't have any fakes. All right. Should I worry about sodium intake if I drink at least half a gallon? If you exercise, you generally don't have to worry about sodium intake. Robert, go.
Correct. Yeah, if you're physically active, well hydrated, you don't need to be overly concerned with your sodium intake. There's no pre-existing kidney issues, and otherwise healthy, fit individual, you don't need to worry about it.
How about the folks that are, Robert, how about talk a minute about the water obsession folks, like the people who carry around their milk jug of water and like by 2 o'clock they got to drink this much, and like wow, that's a lot of water.
The amount of subconscious mental stress you're putting on yourself, knowing that if you haven't drunk that, like you may not think it's stressing you out, but in the back of your mind, there all those gears are turned in. That's just a weight on your subconscious that you don't need. You don't need to be just drink when you're thirsty. Make sure to be drinking water with your meals and stay sufficiently hydrated through the day. You don't need to carry around a jug or something like that, or every 15 minutes take a sip out of your jug. You don't need to do that. That is the most ridiculous thing I see. I see some dude going on a walk around the block. He brings a full 32-ounce shaker bottle with him. And I've seen this guy walking around the block. He does one lap and then goes in his house. What the fuck do you need a water bottle for? It's one goddamn lap around the block. We're talking like a 10-minute walk at most. I don't understand it.
I don't even take a water bottle for a 2-hour run when it's under 60 degrees.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Superman.
Right.
But like some of these people, the same type of people will be like, it's too hard to track calories in MyFitnessPal. But yet you have the dedication to fucking piss 80 times a day.
Yeah.
But it's not inherently healthy. It really isn't.
Yeah.
Peanut stop. All right. Can beginners get bigger arms from a focus on compound work with? This is what I like to call a non-question. Do both.
Yeah.
When I was at my strongest, I was doing just the major compound movements, and I noticed I started to pick up strains in my arms, my wrists, and whatever. When I added arm work back in, I started to feel better.
Yeah.
I also was losing arm size by not doing direct work, even though I was benching like a freak.
Yeah.
So do both. Do both. Don't overcomplicate it. Ashwagandha for liver toxicity.
No, I can think of a bunch of better ingredients, just that have more direct research in terms of liver toxicity or supporting liver health. Lion's mane, actually, I came across a pretty interesting study about lion's mane and reishi mushrooms have some great benefits for liver health. Other really good ones are milk thistle, N-acetylcysteine, grapeseed extract has some really good data behind it for that. You can also go with TUDCA if you've been using some other kind of harsher oral anabolic compounds. Astragalus, artichoke, turmeric, olive leaf extract, taurine, even that has some pretty good benefits because it's a pretty potent antioxidant. So any of those are solid options. But ashwagandha is not in my top 5 or 10 for improving liver health. That's more of a stress reduction.
Not that I want to compete with other supplements, Robert, but whenever I see another supplement out there that's very need specific, I'm curious what you would think of it, like Cut a Rug, the hangover supplement.
Yeah.
That Chris Jones put out through Tiger Fitness and things like that. I'm very curious, what you would think or what you would do.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'd want to put out that product, but hey, Robert, how about sending out some samples of pre-workouts? I wish we had samples. We're just a small little engine that could. We had to buy our own product to get a copy. We weren't even set out, pre-sale copies. That's how little margin there is in what we did. So I wish we could, but if you stay at it, man, I'd be happy to send you out some creatine for free. So just keep doing what you're doing. All right. I start pull warm-ups overhead, go to hook, and do work sets with VersaGrips. That sounds fair. Do you guys do any kind of stretching after a workout? Nah, I usually just drive and eat. I just want to eat. Like after a running workout, I just where I run a lot. It's 30 minutes outside of town, and on the way home is one of the best beer stores in the world. It's in this small town called Carlisle, Ohio. And the hardest part for me is not to stop there and get beer, but I don't stretch. Do you stretch, Robert?
I do a little bit, yeah. Maybe 10 minutes worth at the end. Especially after legs, just because my hip flexors tend to get real tight and my quads do.
If you guys haven't got the Massive Iron Repco book, I highly recommend it. Thank you. The paperback, I get asked this a lot, and the paperback has a lot more content than the original book. So if you have a book fetish like me, it's definitely one that's great for the bookshelf. The Muscle and Brawn book is freaking outrageous with the amount of great content that has in it as well. We got that. Does 5x5 build muscle? Asked this further up at Lost. Anything builds muscle applied, but 5x5 is not magic. It's elevated to magic, but it's just an arbitrary set and rep scheme. Everything, 3x8, 4x7, whatever. Numbers don't matter as much as consistency and progressive overload. So the thing I don't like about 5x5 is that it's too many sets for compound movement, and it'll suck your workout drive time because any compound movements tend to have more rest in between sets. So that is one negative. Rob, do you have any other negatives you can think of regarding a 5x5 scheme?
No, I mean we've hashed this over and over again, so I don't think there's anything else to add to the conversation.
The only thing I would add is that not every compound movement is best suited for 5 reps. So
yeah.
I may have missed the answer, but Roberts, how are you feeling about that pitch for Satan's Gate Devil's Fudge flavor?
If we ever get to the spot where we're doing a protein powder or something like that, I'm okay with that. I want a deep dark chocolate flavored protein powder.
Plate prices are insane. I bought some 10 kgs a few years ago. I paid 30 euros for 2. Now they are 90. They are insane, and for the love of God, I can't figure out why. Because the rest of the fitness equipment I bought in the last 6 months is super cheap, and I bought a lot of it because it's cheap. Yeah. The stuff I showed you earlier is super cheap.
Amazon's got a 2-inch weight plate, a 25-pound for $40. I just pulled up. Does that seem reasonable? I mean, that's over $1 a pound.
Can you share it? Because that sounds fishy.
No, it's cat barbell. It's Prime available and everything.
Share it up.
Right. Here we go. Share screen.
All right. Let me get this off here for a sec.
It's from the Cat Barbell stores, the seller.
Is that 125?
Yeah.
So a 25-pound plate is
$40.
About $1.60 a pound.
Yeah.
What's the set of 2 when you bump it up to 2?
Is that 2.5 pounds? 25 pounds set of 2.
Nada. They have one plate in
yeah.
stock. How are the 10-pound plates?
Not available.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cheap. It's Prime, you said.
Can I buy 4 of them?
Dude, you could sell those on eBay and mark it up. All right, let me get that off there. Let's get on with the show here. No, Flat, because you got run over. That's the joke. Do masks even work? I can smell your farts in BO and Walmart.
Sandy's dad made a similar comment when all this crap first started.
Yeah, I don't know. Walmart's a disaster area, so I wouldn't use that as the best marker. How wide should you grip on bench? A lot of people that come to me actually have a super narrow grip. They're actually close grip or more narrow, and that's their normal bench. So, you have the ring, and in competition, your finger has to be on the ring. For my close grip, my pinkies are on the rings. And for my normal grip, my middle fingers are on the rings. So it's a very slight difference, but wide is really body dependent, So I would start with pinky on ring or middle finger on ring and see how it feels and adjust slowly finger by finger from there. Robert, thoughts on Alpha Brain by on it?
It's decent. I think there's better nootropics on the market, ones that actually have a fully open label. Because last I checked, Alpha Brain was a prop blend. Let me pull up the most recent formula. They may have changed it. Let's see. Why is it so hard to just put the supplement facts panel at the top of the damn page? I'm scrolling through 8,000 things. This is something I hate about some supplement companies. You have to scroll all the way to the damn bottom of the page to find out. There's so much fluff and garbage. All right, so we've got a 650 milligram proprietary blend of tyrosine, theanine, oat straw, and phosphatidylserine, underdosed. They have the most well-dosed thing in here is 400 micrograms of huperzine, which I'm of the opinion that most healthy, well-functioning people don't need to be supplementing with that much per day. 200 micrograms, sure, but huperzine, those 400 or 500 microgram doses have been studied in individuals with cognitive decline, impairment, dysfunction in the acetylcholine network. So yeah, it is. This is very underdosed. It gets a lot of hype from Joe Rogan because he's a part owner and on it. I'm not a fan of the product. 3 other really good options that you can get for much cheaper, and they're actually quality dosed. Prodigy by Iron Brothers. Orange Brainwash by Controlled Labs. You do SNS Focus XT. You can look at Overtime by Apollon Nutrition, and Utopia by Elemental Formulations. Any of those 5, you're set.
Thanks, Robert. All right, I can do a little screen share here. We're almost done.
Yes, they are. I've had mine for almost 10 years now. I have the U90 series. They are wonderful.
So this is what he's talking about, right, Robert? The power blocks.
Yeah.
So the 50s only go up to 50 pounds. Know that. And that is currently $8.99. That sounds a little bit inflated compared to what they used to be.
I got my pair that go up to 90 pounds each for $300.
Yeah, the 90s on this is on Rogue. The 90s are being listed at $14.29.
Not a chance.
The 125s are 17, and 175s you can get a small compact car or a set of dumbbells.
Don't buy those.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but the power blocks, if you can find them at a reasonable cost, are. I'm not sure what was up with Rogue.
Yeah. With
Rogue, I think you get a weekend hooker and a bottle of top shelf whiskey with that purchase. Super sticker. I don't even know how you get a super sticker. I've never had anybody do a super sticker.
Because Daniel's that super.
I didn't even know that feature existed, but Daniel, you are super sticker. When he put up like $50 last time, I thought it was $50 US. It was actually like a nickel in it.
You wanted me to take my shirt off for a nickel. I'm not that cheap.
Whoops. Always late. Sorry. Thoughts on SAMe supplement?
Yes, SAMe. So it's got a bunch of methyl groups on it. It's good for cognitive function. It's got some methylation benefits, so it can help methylation processes in the body, liver health also as well. Yeah, I like it, but it's got a very targeted use. So what use do you intend its purpose, GDAD? It's really good in Genius Joy as a kind of like a mood balancer, anti-anxiety. It's got some good benefits there. I like the ingredient a lot. It just kind of depends what are you using it for exactly.
All right, thanks, Robert, and hope you guys are having a great Friday. Thank you. We're almost done, but appreciate you tuning in. When you do a review on Athlete Next supplements, can you also review Max Effort Muscle by Corey Gregory? Is Corey Gregory still around?
I mean, he used to be a muscle. He was one of the founders of Muscle Farm.
Yeah, didn't he have another line after that?
I don't know.
That looked more old school. Where's this? I thought he had a more old school supplement line. I can't even find the supplements on his website. I don't know. Can you find it? Can you find anything, Robert?
Corey Gregory, Max Effort Muscle.
If he's sucking the schwanz of fucking West Side. Used to do a lot of that shit. when you search it, I get oh yeah, Max Effort Muscle. Yeah. That's got the weird kind of retro branding. That's what I was thinking.
Is it still around?
I don't know. I didn't even see it on his website.
Yeah, Stack 3D has a post about teams up with caffeine and kilos for its own medium roast coffee. Pumpkin pie protein blend. Yeah, we can do a review of their pre-workout. Sure.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of products. Plant-based, tri-blend protein, amino coffee, energy, tri-blend creatine. What's in tri-blend creatine? Is that just 3 different types? AKG, HCl, and mono.
Creatine, AKG.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah, well, I was smacking my head just reading that. All right, Robert, we are out of here. It is 2 hours, 59 minutes, and 52 seconds.
Wait for it. 3 hours. There we go. All right.
Win grand prize. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. We're here every Friday. Appreciate your support. If you need coaching, head over to superlivingday.com right above my head. Just go over there and buy something, a t-shirt, represent. I only make like a couple, $2-3 off a t-shirt. I'm not trying to no, supplements not necessary. Head over there if you need coaching. We'd be glad to help. But please, we'd like to connect with you guys. Head over to Instagram, follow @BenTheBarman or @The Supplement Engineer, and please follow Robert on YouTube for supplement information. Robert, what are you doing? What are you doing this weekend?
As soon as I get off here, I'm going to call my neighbor and say, "Let's get to work on that fence." We're gonna do that. Yeah. I got the podcast tomorrow, 1:00, the Final Scoop podcast with my international band of brothers. We go through all those shenanigans. Then we're going to check out a new brewery tomorrow, Front Yard Brewing, which is on the way to Iron Wolf, which is our usual Saturday respite from the nonsense of the world. We're going to go try Front Yard Brewing. It's supposed to have an awesome food truck and a good selection of beers on there. So as long as they've got amber, stout, or porter, I'm set. Sunday, Sandy's got finals all next week for her night classes that she's taking, so she's going to be studying her ovaries off all weekend. And so it'll be me hanging out with the halfling, drinking, training, and doing some work.
I am going to get up and do some client workouts and do a client call. I have a client call with a gentleman in India, and a pretty light weekend for me. So that's all I'm doing, just working. I just work and maybe run for 4 hours.
Excellent.
All right, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next Friday at 11 Eastern.
Bye.
Robert.